Audacity. Hey everyone, we are now live here on YouTube. We are here for episode 8 of Geekery Abides. I guess you can go ahead and introduce the title real quick while I get the recording ready for the podcast, and we'll hit the intro in just a second here.
Yeah, we're going to be doing non-Marvel comic book film adaptations. Adaptations inspired by comic book films. I guess that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Non-Marvel, though, that was a change that we hadn't announced. We had a discussion in the MCU and Marvel films in the whole take up a lot of space on a top 10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to see Tad's top 10 non-Marvel.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and hit the intro. Now, sorry, I was slacking on the recording the podcast side. So let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started.
Let's do it.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
You the proud, the geeky.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
All right. Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Geekery Abides. With you as always, I am Tad, and with me here, my faithful sidekick, Chewbacca to my Han Solo. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I know you'd prefer to be the Chewbacca anyway.
That's right.
I don't want to be a beast. But yeah, we're here for episode 8 of Geekery Abides. We'll hit the intro stuff, or I guess we'll let Peter take over with the topic side of things here. Now that we've got started, there's a slight change since
a little bit of a change, just
a small tweak,
just a smidge tweak, just a little bit of a tweak, not a big one. We're still doing top 10 comic book films, but we are excluding Marvel films. Now, this isn't just the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is Marvel films. So no Spider-Man, no Logan, no Deadpool. None of those ones are going to be on this list. This is non-Marvel top 10 comic book films. So this is going to be interesting because, I mean, obviously you're going to have the DC universe and everything like that inside of it. Tad's wearing a Superman shirt representing his favorite DC character. I'm wearing Batman, my favorite DC character. But there are other non-Marvel entities out there, and I'm curious to see what made your list versus what made my list and seeing how they match up and everything. You do get a little bit of an insight because you got to build the slides and everything like that. So
yeah.
I, on the other hand, don't know what's coming. So I'm excited to see this and everything. So let's get started.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go through the old slides here real quick. Do you want to hit us on the emails?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to email us, you can email either one of us directly. It's Peter or Tad, that's 2 Ds, Tadd, at Geekery Abides. So if you want to email me something that you want to keep secret from Tad, or you want me to reveal on the show to Tad, just hit me up at peter@geekeryabides.com, or if you want to send it to Tad, that's Tad, Tadd, at geekeryabides.com. And then from there, do we have anything else for the intro, or are we diving into what have you been watching, reading, playing?
That is what we are doing. Go ahead and watching, reading, playing for you first, sir.
Me first. Okay, here we go. I finished Star Wars Rebels the other day. Wrapped it up. Nice little bow on it. Ready for Ahsoka now. Are you going to do a rewatch of Rebels before Ahsoka?
I need to, but I don't know. We'll see.
You don't need to watch the whole thing. Just watch season 4.
Yeah. I mean, but the whole thing's so good.
It is good. I will say it is really good. I forgot how good it was, actually. I've only ever seen it once, and the problem was when Rebels was coming out, it was on cable on Disney XD.
Yeah.
I didn't have cable,
Yeah.
so I had to find a way to watch it, and it didn't work out. It took me a while to finally watch it.
Yeah.
But now it's just on Disney Plus, so score.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, I watched the series Waco Aftermath. I watched 4 episodes, boom, 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 back to back. And then I watched the 5th episode when it aired last Friday. Great series. Just a little 5 mini-series thing.
The first series is pretty incredible.
Yeah, so the first series is the Siege of Waco and everything that happened with the ATF, the FBI, and the Branch Davidians. This is Waco, the Aftermath, where 4 of the Branch Davidian survivors are put on trial for various crimes against the ATF and FBI.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have the negotiator from Waco, who was dismissed before the siege concluded, investigating what he believes is going to be a retaliation attack on the United States government by people who think like the Branch Davidians and everything like that. So he's there's kind of a dual thing, a courtroom drama as well as the classic crime drama investigating. So really cool. And I know you watched that too, right?
I did. Yeah. So that's on my list. The other thing I wanted to point out, if that judge irritated you at all, go ahead and pull up that scene on YouTube where Jesse Pinkman shoots him in the face, because that's the guy that plays Gail Bedecker in Breaking Bad.
Is it really?
Yeah. So if you want to go see that actor open the door and get shot in the fucking face.
Yeah, that judge was a right piece of work. The only other thing that I have on my watching is that I watched The Conjuring last night. It was my wife's first time watching it, and it was better than I remembered. I will say it's gonna make my top 10 when we do horror films.
Hide and clap, sir.
Dude, hide and clap. I'm not allowed to clap at home anymore now, apparently.
So if you hear clapping at your house, then it's some sort of entity.
Exactly. That's what we're supposed to do. It's a way of identifying it. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Let me go ahead and change the slide since I always forget to do that. Your wife is in the chat saying hi and saying that Marvel is a huge entity and deserves its own show. The other question I have, though, is when we do Marvel, is there a split between MCU and non-MCU?
I don't think there's enough movies outside of the MCU to do a top 10.
There's 5 Spider-Man movies. There's 7 X-Men movies.
Oh shit, there is.
There's 2 Fantastic Fours. There's Blade.
There's 3 Fantastic Four movies.
There's 2.
There's 3.
There's 2.
Don't talk to me about bad movies and then exclude one just because you don't like it.
There's 2. And then,
come on, you're including X-Men 3 over the Fantastic Four movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that is a debate that could be had.
That's a discussion.
You split it up to where
they're going to do a Marvel one, non-MCU, and then an MCU one? Are we talking 3 comic book movie lists, Ted? I think we are.
And
I think
the
we
MCU
are.
is such a whale. It's kind of hard to.
It's got over 30
include.
movies now, right?
It's getting close to 30.
It's not 30
I
yet?
don't know if it's 30 yet. So
I wonder if it is.
So for me, I did watch Waco Aftermath. Also, I'm rewatching Band of Brothers, which will likely turn into The Pacific after that once I'm done. And then I'm watching Ted Lasso as it airs. I think there's only a couple episodes left. That's been really good. Enjoying the hell out of that. And then the only other thing I've been watching is I decided to throw on South Park and carry my way through there.
Oh, are you?
I'm a few episodes. I'm into a little bit into season 1 of South Park, which is stuff I grew up watching the first season. We'll see what happens beyond that. Right now, I'm not really reading a whole lot. Haven't really found a lot of time to read recently. And then playing. I haven't played anything in the last week, but last weekend I did spend some time on Red Dead 2. I am very close to a very crucial moment in the game that I'm holding off on as long as possible. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So much so that I will not even go into the town of Santini.
That's funny.
Also, we have an email. John,
okay.
John from Buffalo, which he was he's a regular over on the Dark Tower show as well. But he says, not sure if you want emails like this for your show. If not, ignore it. We are open to anything. Honestly, I don't think it's even defined what we have for emails for this show. But what he has, he says, here's what I've been up to. He says, reading. He says, I'm on another trip along the beam. I just started The Wastelands on audiobook. So
yeah, so much fun.
That's great. He says, playing. He says, I recently broke up my Nintendo 64 and have been playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, Mario 64, and Mario Kart 64. That's some good stuff there. I already played. I 100%ed at Mario 64 on my Switch. I went and bought the Switch, and then I have the subscription, so I get all the old games. I have never been into Zelda. I think as a kid, I just didn't have the patience for RPGs in general. And I was thinking recently, I'm wondering if I should try again as an adult, and maybe
there you go.
Maybe I have more patience now than I did as a kid. But I've always been more of a Mario kid than a Zelda kid. So, and then he says started watching Dexter, almost finished with season 1. Also watching Ted Lasso as the new episodes come out, I'm watching Ted Lasso as well. And he says, loving both podcasts. Keep up the great work. Thank you, John. And he signs off, John from Buffalo. So
Excellent. Thank you, John. Our first email.
Yeah, first email for Geekery Abides. Almost said
Yeah.
Tower Blabber.
So I looked it up while we were reading John's email. According to Wikipedia, there have been 32 films released in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Feel like we're
with 10 more in development.
yeah, there's a lot in development for sure.
So I'm curious if that's correct, because I'm looking down through here and it has Phase 5 movies listed and Phase 6 movies listed. So I don't know if they're counting those or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think we were that high, but all right, jumping over to news. I got a few things to cover in the news here. The first one, a sad one. Jim Brown just passed away the day before yesterday. I'm assuming you saw that.
I did.
So, of course, he's a legendary athlete, pro football player, but the reason we're talking about him here, he has been in films such as Mars Attacks, The Running Man, The Dirty Dozen, and Any Given Sunday, the greatest football movie of all time.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Really?
easy,
Any
dude.
given Sunday, huh?
Easy, dude. I think if it had NFL teams, I don't think anyone would even question it. But I think that's the thing that some people hold against it is the fact they don't use real teams.
Because it was, made the league not look exactly.
Yeah, because it was true to
True
reality.
reality, yeah.
Exactly. So, rest in peace, Jim Brown. I always loved his turn in Any Given Sunday. He was just like that badass, hard ass coach. I don't remember what coach he was.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah, so always loved him in that. Next up, we had a trailer drop for Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat.
Holy shit.
Everyone's been calling it Mortal Kombat 12 because it is the 12th one. But the title was revealed as being Mortal Kombat 1. And that actually makes a lot of sense for those that follow along. Basically, at the end of the last one, there was like a god of time that basically fucked everything up. And when it got to the final stages of it, she literally wiped out all existence. And Liu Kang and Raiden merged. So Liu Kang was like the god of thunder and fire. So he's like a dual god.
Oh, that's why there's like the duel in the trailer. Okay.
Yeah, and so basically, once he beats her, he basically literally there's no other existence. Like they're on this like Jurassic thing with like a dinosaur in the background, and like that's the only thing that exists anymore. It's kind of like what Thanos said when he's like, "I'm going to wipe the galaxy down to its smallest atoms,"
and then restart.
and then restart it. Like so, she literally completely wiped it all out to where it wasn't like we can revert it back to like a year ago. Like no, it doesn't exist anymore. So basically, Liu Kang has to build everything from the ground up, and that's why the trailer played the way that it did. That it's this whole new reality and stuff. So
and he's like, you can choose which one you're gonna be.
Yeah, and that's why they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1 because it is looks like a pretty hard reboot for the whole thing. And then how about that fatality on Shang Tsung?
Dude, it got my wife so bad.
Holds him up with
Well,
the
the thing is
electricity and the fire, and then just like goes,
She was even saying that the funny thing is it Melina with the fans?
Katana.
Katana with the fans. My wife was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of Katana," and I'm like, "You've played Mortal Kombat?" She's like, "Yeah, I played Mortal Kombat." And I'm like, "Shit, you're one up on me." The only Mortal Kombat game I've ever played, like, I threw a quarter in at the arcade and I played Mortal Kombat. I played Mortal Kombat, but I never sat down and played, especially the newer ones that have like a story.
Yeah, heavy story. Yeah.
Except for I played MK versus DC.
Oh, okay.
Where
yeah.
it didn't have fatalities.
Yeah.
Because DC couldn't have its characters doing.
Yeah.
You can't have Batman ripping a spine out, because, good guy.
I don't know.
Doesn't ever kill.
I don't know.
Unlike that guy over there.
But then the other big thing is they're dropping it on my birthday, September 19th.
I know, right?
So 2 birthdays in a row now.
Your favorite band was here in concert
in
last
Salt
year.
Lake on my
Iron Maiden was
Yeah.
in concert. And you're like, I'm going. And then,
it's
and then
on
this
my
year you
birthday.
get a Mortal Kombat. So what's next year?
It's gonna be a huge letdown.
What's next year, huh?
I mean, hopefully the universe brings me something good. But
The Green Bay Packers announced they're going to play a game here in Utah.
yeah.
at the University of Utah Stadium. So I grabbed the Wikipedia list and I threw it into a Google sheet real fast. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 makes 32.
Interesting.
It was 30 before this year. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was 30.
Interesting.
There's 32 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Dude, what the hell?
Yeah, that's wild, man. But
Yeah,
then,
they need to have their own list.
yeah, but then again, think about how long ago 2008 was, and when you see these kids in the theater, they weren't even born when Iron Man came out.
2007.
No, or wait,
No, yeah, you're right. 2008.
Yeah, 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 2008.
All right.
Damn.
Next up, Disney is closing and killing the Star Wars Star Cruise.
Already?
Yes.
Dude, that thing was so overpriced.
Yeah. So that's what I have on the thing here is it was a fully immersive thing. I think they limited it at 2 nights. Not that anyone can afford it because it was $5,000 a night.
So $10,000 to spend 2 nights.
Yeah, and I think it was per person too.
Per
I don't,
person.
Yeah, I think so it was ridiculously, ridiculously overpriced. Not a surprise that it's closing. I think it's up until fall. If you have sold an organ to afford staying there for a couple nights, you do still have a couple months to do it before it is finally washed away. Looks like I'm making your wife feel old.
Yeah, shut up. It makes me feel old.
I mean,
Wait,
I said
2008, I think that's the year she graduated high school. So
I said that when we were like in Infinity War, when you saw
Yeah.
these kids, I'm like, just think that kid wasn't born when Iron Man came out. And it's
Yeah.
true. I mean, all right. So next up, we got some Marvel news, as a matter of fact. So Deadpool 3 will be seeing the return of the Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
yeah, I love Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
They have confirmed the actor has been cast. So yeah, she will be there, as well as her girlfriend was also confirmed cast.
oh,
so
gosh. Kyoto or something like that, wasn't
something
it?
like that. Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah. Lydia, you only need one kidney, right? Yeah, it's true. In fact, both my parents only have a kidney apiece. So
Yeah.
yes, I can attest.
Yukio. Her name's Yukio.
Oh yeah.
Yukio.
Yeah, so
I was close.
Deadpool 3 have some. I guess that's surprising to me because I wasn't necessarily fully aware of like how connected to the previous movies the new one would be. I mean, it would be somewhat, but I still kind of could see it maybe breaking heavily from
Yeah.
everything. So
well, I mean,
it's-
we're getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in it. So
yeah, exactly.
for who knows how long, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 2 hours, who knows?
Oh man,
I have my suspicions about how much he's going to actually be in the movie.
Yeah.
I wonder. But the first time I see Ryan Reynolds and Tom Holland on screen together, I'm going to like
That's what I'm more excited for. Like Wolverine, like let's
Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Deadpool and Spider-Man.
are so
that-
good
that-
together.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Next up, Indiana Jones is coming to Disney Plus the last day of this month.
Yeah.
All 4 films, as well as the Young Indiana Jones Adventures TV show.
I never watched that.
It's worth a watch. I watched some of it as a kid, but not all of it. I can't wait to be. I actually not too long ago was looking, like maybe a year or so ago, I was looking to like buy it on disc or stream it. I'm like, I just want to watch the whole thing, and just there was no way to do it. So that'll be changing.
Indiana Jones?
The young
Oh, the young
Adventures.
one. The young
yeah,
one. Okay.
yeah. So
I was
that-
going to say, I just watched the 3 Indiana Jones with my wife on Paramount Plus, so I was like, I was
yeah,
a little confused there for a sec. Sorry.
Kalima.
Kalima. Monkey Brains.
Yeah, Chilled Monkey Brains.
Chilled
Indeed,
Monkey Brains.
that was my favorite as a kid.
Chilled Monkey Brains?
The middle movie was my favorite.
My
'Cause
wife was-
all the grossed out shit. As a little
Yeah.
boy who's not going to love that.
My wife was not a fan of the bugs that they ate the beetles.
Yeah.
She
Or what
was-
about the bug room?
the bug room was bad. It was bad.
Climbing all over her, coming out of her dress and stuff. And
Cue the shut up Tad in the chat from my wife here any second now.
oh, that
It's what you live for. I
that-
know it is.
That scene, man. Yeah. The next up, we have an interesting one.
Okay.
Loki and Echo have set their dates for
Echo did?
for Disney Plus. So
Okay.
Loki will start streaming on October 6th. And then this is a new one. Echo will be dropping its entire series on November 29th.
Not week to week?
Not week to week. So
Whoa.
that's kind of a bummer. I feel like they're. I mean, I'm okay with binging, but I feel like maybe it's being kind of just dumped off a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
excited for Echo. I think that'll be a really good show.
You got some emojis for my wife.
So I hope that it's. I don't know. I guess I'm still happy I'll be able to stream it. But in their defense though, isn't that Thanksgiving? That really seems close to Thanksgiving.
The 23rd is Thanksgiving, I think.
29th. Oh yeah, that's a Wednesday. So 23rd. Yeah, no. So it's not even Thanksgiving. So I don't know. Very
Yeah, the
strange
23rd
though.
is
It's
Thanksgiving.
the first Disney Plus thing that's dropped like that. Everything.
I wonder if
so.
they're using maybe a lesser one in their eye that they can test the dump and see how
No,
it
they're
goes.
not. They'll never dump things like Loki or
It
Mandalorian and
gets
stuff.
people-
So they just. I really feel like it's kind of a slight to Echo a little bit. I think.
I
Unfortunately.
like Echo. She was great in Hawkeye.
Me too. Plus, I can't wait to see Mr. Kingpin back.
Oh, him and Tom Holland too need to be on the same screen.
Yeah, I've
Okay, I want Kingpin versus Spider-Man versus Daredevil versus Deadpool.
and with Vincent D'Onofrio, what Deadpool would have to do. He'd have to call him Private Pile.
Private Pile. Yes.
What the fuck is that, Private Pile?
What
that
is
a
your
jelly
major
donut?
malfunction, Private Pile?
Next up, this is an interesting one. Got a new JFK assassination film coming.
Really?
Yes, it is starring Al Pacino,
Okay.
Viggo Mortensen, John Travolta, and
Oh.
Shia LaBeouf.
Vigo.
Yeah.
Man, when's the last time you saw Vigo in anything?
And this, he hasn't been as heavy as he was there in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But this is by David Mamet, which did Glengarry Glen Ross and Wag the Dog. This will be looking at the assassination from the perspective of the mob, and will view it as a mob hit.
Okay.
So I'm guessing Pacino will be the old gangster. Basically,
Go
that's
figure.
one of the conspiracies of the mob is, they basically swayed the election, cheated the election in Illinois to give Illinois to Kennedy and helped him win the election.
Yeah.
And then he put his brother in as district attorney, or no, not district attorney, attorney general. And he was one of the biggest enemies of the mob. So they felt
Yeah.
it as a huge betrayal of
We
helped-
did you a favor.
Yeah.
This is how you repay us.
Exactly. Not to mention they had a lot of money invested in Cuba, and when Castro overthrew it, they lost a lot. And the whole idea was, you scratch our back, we'll scratch we scratch your back, you scratch ours. And then the Bay of Pigs with no air cover and stuff, they looked at that as like, you didn't even try to, because that's the whole thing is like
Yeah.
behind the scenes is like the Bay of Pigs is all about getting Cuba back under like capitalism, so the mob can get all their shit that they had invested and get it back
and
going.
then Kennedy didn't even really try that.
Didn't even
hard.
really exactly.
So
that's-
he did it because the conspiracy theory is that he didn't try that hard because it was going back to the mob. That
Yeah.
It was
'Cause
gonna benefit the mob.
because they were basically building before the revolution in Cuba. That was basically being built. That was going to be the next Las Vegas. But now you're
Okay.
doing it in the Caribbean. Mob builds it up, got a bunch of hotels, resorts, casinos. It would have been, imagine Vegas in the fucking Caribbean. Like that would
Well, I mean, yeah, dude, imagine that.
that'd be
You have
billions of dollars.
You kind of got that in Ghost Recon Wildlands, where you got that in Bolivia. You got that one part that's on the lake. That's the resort. You got the casino there. You got all the spa and everything. The 18-hole golf course. It's like they were trying to build that, but in the Caribbean. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it would have been massive. So, be interesting to see. I'm always up for a JFK assassination movie.
You're a big fan of
and,
that.
And Al Pacino. I mean, that's like it's like cater made for me. I mean, all they need to do is cast.
Dad.
Yeah, they just need to cast Gary Oldman in there somewhere, and it's 100% for
Gary
me.
Oldman should play the rifle
Oh, well, he already played Oswald
or the car.
in JFK. So.
true.
No, he could play Jackie.
Jackie Kennedy. Okay.
Next one here, we have an interesting quote from Kathleen Kennedy on Star Wars projects.
Okay.
She says, Ryan and I are talking all the time, Ryan Johnson.
Director of The Last Jedi, Star Wars Episode 8.
I'm a huge fan of him in general. But she says he just keeps getting more and more successful, and it keeps moving things back further and further. Basically talking about the Ryan Johnson trilogy that is
Was supposed to happen.
so it sounds like that's still a thing, which is interesting. One day we'll figure this out, and Taika is working away. He's just, and I won't get mad. He won't get mad at me for saying this. Slow. We've got a couple of acts. We just need a third act. And Lando is still on the books, and Rogue Squadron is still on the books.
Oh, she said it. Oh.
We just want them to be.
Suck it to my veins!
We just want them to be great. So that's an interesting quote. Like, I get a happiness that Ryan Johnson stuff still, because that's the first word we've heard on it in ages.
Same thing with like Rogue Squadron,
Rogue
right?
Squadron. I think
Those two were announced around the same time, and we've heard nothing about them.
radio silence,
Yeah.
indeed. So the next one, so then the last two that we have here are rumors. I'm going to start separating out news and rumors as much as I
Okay.
can. I haven't done that up to this point, so everything previous to this 7 episodes, I may have mixed news and rumors in
Okay.
together. But I want to start separating those to where, like here on the screen, when it says news, Kathleen Kennedy quote, and then I'll have ones that say rumors, fill in the blank, because I don't know, just keep it separate.
It's the rumor mill.
So the rumor here is that Bradley Cooper has turned down the role of Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy.
Oh shit!
So
He worked with James Gunn on the 3 Guardians films.
yeah, it's easy to forget him
Yeah,
'cause
Rocket.
he wasn't on screen.
He was
so,
Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like he turned it down. That's surprising to me because it seems like James Gunn has a lot of loyalty from people that have worked with him. So
they follow.
I'm really
they
shocked.
follow.
I'm shocked by this. Really, I am. Yeah,
I wonder if he just wants out of the superhero business. He
but
wants
this
to
way
go
he'd
do some
actually
other
be
stuff.
on screen. You know,
I mean, true, but after so many years of doing superhero, I mean, he was just voice acting, but
yeah.
maybe he just doesn't want to do a superhero movie anymore. You know,
Yeah.
there are non-geekery, fans out there, Ted.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
true, unfortunately.
We'll see.
What's the
They just need to hit up old Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston will make a great Lex Luthor. What's the Nova Prime actress? She's really famous. Glenn Close.
Yeah.
The only reason she did that is she's like, no, I just funded like my next 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that quote when
Oh, yeah.
when the first Guardians came out?
Yeah. Well, that's what frickin' Pattinson and Harry Potter kid have basically did.
Daniel
is
Radcliffe?
They bankrolled themselves to do a bunch of weird ass fucking independent stuff because they both did these franchise things early in their careers.
And
that,
they were good.
They were set,
They're
you know.
they're having fun now and
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, now Pattinson's back into the whole bigger realm.
My boy,
So-
he's my Batman.
Then the next one here is the last bit we've got before you jump into the main topic here.
Okay.
The rumor is that the Dave Filoni Star Wars film might be titled Heir to the Empire.
They're gonna do it.
I mean,
Are they gonna
it
do it?
really seems like. I mean, he dropped.
We already have
dropped
Thrawn,
and
dude.
he dropped the line in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
She's like, he's building himself to be an heir to the Empire.
Uh-huh.
So like the line's already there.
It's there. We just won't have the twins. so.
No, it'll have to be an adaptation. But dude, just look at what Marvel's done.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single time. I mean, the Civil War. One of the biggest things in Civil War in the comics was the revealing your secret identity was as well, and it was Spider-Man. Well, they didn't have Spider-Man established enough to like
Yeah.
have him as a part in Civil War to like reveal himself. So like you could change massive things about the story and still get
Well,
the gist of it.
they changed the entire argument for which side you should be on, Captain America's side or Iron Man's side. In the comic Civil War, it was revealing your secret identity, like you said. But in the movie, it's signing the Sokovia Accords. I wanted
Yeah.
to say Soviet so bad right there. Sokovia Accords to be under the thumb of a 117 country rule, and they direct
I
you
need
where
to
to go.
rewatch Civil War. I haven't watched that in a while.
It's a good one.
It's really good.
It's a good one.
It's really good. But yeah, Heir to the Empire
Yeah,
is allegedly going to be the name.
I'm excited.
for Dave Filoni's film that will culminate, which might mean it's a ways away. We had to hear rumors about that there's a chance that we may not see it till like 2028, 2029. So it could be a ways away.
It's a little bit of ways, but we'll Tad, we'll stay strong. We'll enjoy our Rogue Squadron when it comes out. Watch those X-wings all up and down the screen because it's the best starfighter in all of Star Wars. So
Nah, I don't know about that.
it's hands down the greatest starfighter
TIE fighter all day.
used throughout the saga.
TIE Fighter all day, man. When I play like the game, I'm picking the TIE
Get
Fighter
out of
every
there!
time.
Get out of here, little box! Get out of here with that thing. So we're moving on to the main topic now, right?
We are indeed.
All right, so again, we are doing top 10 comic book movies that are non-Marvel. Now, that includes MCU and regular Marvel films such as Spider-Man, Logan, etc. So, off the bat, I didn't ask you. Who's going first? Am I going first or are you going first?
You tell me, man. You're
we don't have it set. I get to choose?
You're hosting this dance, sir.
I get to choose?
I've got buttons here.
Oh, it's like we can go back and forth then. Okay, so I'll go first, and then on the odd ones, you'll reveal yours first.
What about honorable mentions?
honorable mentions? Do we got some honorable mentions for Tad?
Don't you?
I do have some honor. Well, I did, but I messed up my list and had Marvel stuff on there.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
to take it back
that's
off.
true. That's true.
I'll say one honorable mention. So we won't have a slide for this. I'll say one honorable mention. Man, Sin City.
Okay.
I watched that movie. That was right out of high school. It came out in like 2005, 2006, somewhere right around there. I caught it on DVD. I picked it up at a FYE here. Media Play is what we used to have. I don't remember which one it was at the time. And I picked it up used and went home and I watched it. And damn, stylistic choices and stuff like that. I'd never seen anything really like that. I don't think I'd even seen Schindler's List. So I don't think I'd even watched like many black and white movies. But then to have like the little bit of color splattered in with it. Good movie.
Yeah.
Just didn't make my list though. So that's
Yeah.
I would give that as my honorable mention. What about you? You got any?
Yeah, I've got a couple honorable mentions. Ones that just basically I kind of shotgun my list like I always do.
Yep.
These are just the ones that didn't make the cut. The Suicide Squad.
The new one? The new one?
The Suicide Squad.
Not Suicide Squad.
No, God.
The Suicide Squad.
God, no. The Suicide Squad with the giant eye thing and you poke it into its eyeball.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. The James Gunn one.
Little squishy and wet in there.
The little raccoon guy. Little
Rat.
freaking vermin thing.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Loved John Cena's role was pretty great in that movie.
I still need to watch Peacemaker.
I do still need to watch that too. Actually,
You got some more emojis from my wife about the eyeball. So good job.
it's like it's like going into a waterbed. You just
Bleh. That's a hard Goro right there.
Next one, really good movie, but I haven't watched it in a while. But I remember loving it. Road to Perdition.
Oh, that's based off of a comic book. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that one again. That's
Tom Hanks, right?
Tom Hanks, yeah, like a 1930s type movie.
Gangster,
yeah.
right?
It's a great movie. The next one, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I know some people shit on this movie, but I've always loved this movie. And this was one of the earliest things after Game of Thrones that I just blanked on it. Pedro Pascal did. And I loved him so much in Game of Thrones that his role in this was great as Whiskey. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. I just across the board.
That one did make my shotgun list as well. I have one more.
Oh, and then Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore was with Elton John and everything. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it's
that movie is the one that reminded me of Country Road. Of that song.
Yeah.
It's so funny how I come across music because I'm not a huge music guy. I know we just talked about this yesterday, but I'm just not a huge music guy growing up and everything. So I come across songs now randomly in the wild.
Yeah.
In movies and on social media and stuff like that. That's one that movie, that song did it. I do have one more. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a good one. Chris Evans is phenomenal in that.
And then my last two are very similar: Batman Returns and Superman Returns.
Batman Returns didn't make your list. I am shocked, sir, with how much you quote that at me. I mean, hell, we have a sound clip on here from
It's true.
Batman Returns about the nose gushing blood and everything.
It's one of my favorites. Danny DeVito as Penguin
I'm
is
shocked. Sir, I am shocked.
yeah.
I'm not disappointed or anything. I am shocked. All right, so
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's do number 10. Let's have you go first with number 10.
Oh, you're gonna go with me first.
Yeah, let's have you go first.
Changing it up on us here. So
Curveball.
You already mentioned it actually, but Scott Pilgrim versus the World
Hey,
is indeed
yeah.
making it in my top 10. Love the movie. I'm not a huge fan of the actor, but
Eisenberg. Sarah.
no, it's Michael Cera. Yeah,
Dude, those two are they're interchangeable.
I've never been the biggest fan of him, but this movie was incredible. I love Edgar Wright. Everything Edgar Wright does is incredible. And as a video game fan, I felt like this was just a movie that, like, I still don't think outside of this we've really had a lot of movies made geared towards gamers. And this one just was. This was just like a love letter to video games in a way that was incredible. And it was so far ahead of the curve. I mean, of course, now you've got like Sonic and Mario coming out. But even that, like, I don't know if that's even as much of a love letter to gaming, if it's just a straight like IP transition from game to film, like versus like Scott Pilgrim. Like I'm trying to think of like the movie Yesterday. I don't know if you ever watched that, where the guy wakes
with
up
the
and,
Beatles.
Yeah, like, that's just a movie that's a 2-hour love letter to the Beatles, and it's like I feel like Scott Pilgrim's that way for video games, and it's just and Edgar Wright, man. There's very few filmmakers that I trust as much as him. Like, I just feel like every single time, like you sit down, you just know when you see Edgar Wright's name up on the screen, you're in for a fucking absolute fucking banger of a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was on my honorable mentions. I love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I said it. One of my favorite parts of it is fucking Chris Evans, dude.
Yeah,
his role and like the stunt doubles and everything.
I need to watch you get it some. I think I own like 3 or 4 copies.
Do
of
you
it,
really?
Because they keep putting out new versions of the Steelbook. They
you love Steelbooks.
Yeah, I love Steelbooks, and they keep putting out different variants. And like, I don't know, so I probably should stop buying copies of it. But I do have a few copies. Yes,
my wife says, "Hell yes, Scott Pilgrim and Kieran Culkin was amazing."
He is amazing. Like, I mean, he was in the second or so last Scream movie. He's been killing it in Succession. He's in Succession?
Yeah,
he's one of the main characters in that. He's come a long way from being the kid that pisses the bed in Home Alone. So he's come a long, long ways.
Yes,
he's killing it, man.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Elizabeth Olsen. You know, like the other siblings there were like way famous as kids. She didn't really have any kind of a career until much later, you know. And then same with Kieran Culkin. I think he didn't really have much of a career early on. Yeah, he got a token role in Home Alone because his brother was the star. But like outside of that, in the last 15 or so years, he's been like popping up more and more and been doing a killer job too. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's my number 10. Scott Pilgrim. Love that movie. I need to rewatch it again at some point. All of Edgar Wright stuff, dude. He's so unique.
He's the one that does Hot Fuzz, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And At World's End.
World's End, and then
Paul?
Baby Driver. No, Paul was not him.
Paul
was
not
the
him.
other the two actors, but not
Yeah.
Edgar Wright. And then Scott Pilgrim is Edgar Wright and not the two actors.
Gotcha.
They kind of split. Not that it was like a divorce, but like they both kind of went their different ways. They did Paul. He did Scott Pilgrim.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Yeah, and then Baby Driver's another. And then he also did that one recently with the time travel-ish like horror movie. I'm blanking on the name of it.
Look that up. I'm going to do my number 10 if you're ready to push the button for me. My number 10 is V for Vendetta.
Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho. Oh, right. That one. I forgot about that.
That's
yeah.
a killer movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, V for Vendetta. That's I haven't watched that one probably since almost around high school when it came out, basically.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I mean, I love Keira Knightley. Wait, no. Natalie Portman. Dude,
Yeah.
again, talking about actors/actresses that are interchangeable. Actors, like,
yeah.
Natalie Portman.
I
She
mean,
does-
Keira Knightley was the double in Phantom
okay,
Menace.
Thank
so.
you for that's what it was. Okay. My wife's never seen V for Vendetta. Damn it, I gotta fix that. She also says rewatch is in order for Scott Pilgrim. But V for Vendetta was phenomenal. Great story. I love the kind of like dystopian type kind of futures where it's like
Yeah.
the world's gone to shit, like America's basically garbage now, and England is under a dictatorship and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then you got the one revolutionary who wears the iconic mask and everything. It's made for me.
Yeah.
I love that kind of story and stuff like that. So, Hugo Weaving was amazing. This is right after he came off of Lord of the Rings as
And The Matrix.
Lord Elrond, and the first Matrix. All three Matrix, wasn't it? Or right around there.
It was
I don't
right in that
remember.
ballpark.
Yeah, it's
He
right there.
Yeah, he had probably either finished those two series
Yeah.
or he was very close to finishing them. Now, in your mind,
Yeah.
is he Lord of the Rings or Matrix?
Dude,
Where-
he's Agent Smith.
yeah, okay. I was like,
He is fucking
you
Agent
just
Smith.
you just mentioned Lord of the Rings first, and I was like,
No.
I mean,
That's probably what he's more known for, probably, especially when we get into the nerd culture and stuff like that.
Maybe.
But The Matrix, man, Agent Smith is...
he's one of the most iconic villains. I mean, well, you can't even say of this century because it was last century. It was 1999
For the first movie, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, he's great. I mean, I'm not saying that he's bad
Also-
in Elrond, but he's in
Also,
Captain America.
Let's give him some credit. He one of the ones for a throat punch,
Yeah. Well, that's more of a throat
throat jab.
jab, throat jab. But yeah, no, I need to rewatch. I think I own V for Vendetta too. I just
You
haven't watched.
probably do, knowing
Yeah.
you. It's probably down there wrapped in saran wrap too, not even opened.
Hey.
Knowing you.
You go to hell.
Dude, you gave me a bunch of movies like 6 months ago. You like went through your movies. You're like, oh, I got doubles of this. I've ordered a steelbook of this. It's on its way. That kind of thing. You gave me a bunch of those. I think I took like 20 or 30 movies. My wife can vouch for this. There was like 5 or 6 in there that were still in the wrapping, dude. You have a problem.
Don't judge me.
You have a problem,
Don't
sir.
judge
Get
me.
help. But yeah, so I love V for Vendetta. So I'm going to do my number 9, and I'm going to go first this time.
alternate
Yeah, we're going to
around,
alternate. I got the choices, man. I'm in control. We're going to go some crazy shit here. It is an instant classic. I watched it recently with my daughter. Fucking love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, dude. The live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter.
All I have is a few frozen pizzas.
Let's go for it. I need that as a soundbite.
That's yeah.
I'm gonna put that down. Sound bites to add.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot I could say about Turtles. Maybe I'll save it because
Save it.
Turtles might come up on my list.
Save it. But yeah, I mean, I will say
Casey Jones.
I will say now,
one of my favorite lines.
Casey Jones.
You're claustrophobic. Hey, take that back. I've never looked at a man. The shit you don't catch as a kid.
I know.
As an adult, you're like, dude, that's a great
that's a
fucking
good
line.
joke. And then them talking about like cricket and stuff like that. It's so funny.
Go play. Have fun.
Have fun. But getting like the origins of it and everything like that with the turtles. I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. In fact, I will say there's only 2 or 3 theme songs that I crave to hear
No,
them.
it's that and the X-Men.
That X-Men and oh shit, dude, blew the one that I had in my head out the window. But
those two are just
those two are
some of the
90s.
most iconic.
I mean, even though I found out recently that the Turtles finished in the 80s, so it's technically not a 90s cartoon.
No, that's true because I mean,
the syndication for
this
it.
movie came out in the 90s.
This
so.
movie came out in 1990 and everything, but that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, yeah, dude, all about that theme song. I just crave it. Daredevil, that's the one. I don't know what it is about Daredevil on Netflix.
That is a good
dude,
one.
I crave that theme. Every few months, I'll just be like, God, I gotta listen to that theme, and then it's just like, dude, I'm down.
I'm
a hole.
thinking about
I'm
thinking about a
point.
rewatch on that actually.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
I think
so fucking good.
I think
dude.
I need to
It's
too.
so good, and I haven't watched it since back when it was coming out. Like I don't think I've ever rewatched the whole series. So,
okay,
so
what's your? We're on
let me guess. Michelangelo.
My favorite turtle?
Yeah,
absolutely not. I dug Donatello.
but just in general, like has that changed?
Has that changed? No, Leonardo's now my favorite.
Okay,
which makes sense because he's the most like.
Straight laced,
do the right thing.
Yeah. Because
the most Jedi of them.
I've always said that everyone's favorite turtle reflects their personality.
You think Michelangelo reflects my personality?
Your wife is in here. Let's have her fucking answer that for Christ's sake. I mean, but no, I could see the Leonardo thing for sure. I can definitely see that with your, your Boy Scout bullshit. All your, straight laced and all. Yeah. Raphael, he's the man.
No, he's a piece of shit.
He's the best.
He's a piece of shit.
He's the best.
You dumbass.
Did you see the trailer for the new one?
Yes,
dude. I'm
excited.
I think it's the first Turtles since Turtles 2 that I'm like probably gonna go see.
I'm gonna go see it. My daughter wants to see it too. She's big into turtles. There's been like 5 or 6 animated shows, a couple movies here.
Oh
and
yeah,
there,
it's like Power Rangers. It never ends. It just keeps going on and on and on.
My wife says Mikey for me.
No, I saw the trailer when I took my mom to a movie on Mother's Day, and like I can't remember if I had watched the trailer before that. I'm a little bit weirded out by I feel like the kids are like 10 that voice the actors, that voice the character. They don't sound like teenagers.
No.
But I guess it's a little bit of a tip to what we will maybe talk about in a couple weeks on Dark Tower Palaver. But the director recently came out and said that one of his inspirations is Stand By Me for the movie.
The body?
So kind of a coming of age type.
Yeah.
So it's the first, because I've judged harshly a lot of the turtle shit that's come out over the last couple decades, but this one's the first one I think that I will see since Turtles 2. Because Turtles 3 was an abomination, and then like you had the ones that looked like monsters, and you had the Megan Fox shit. And
there was an animated one that they did that I think actually did get a theatrical release. It has Sarah Michelle Gellar as April O'Neil.
Oh, okay.
And then a couple other things I don't remember it very well. Oh, Patrick Stewart's in it.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a pretty decent little animated film.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to give it a shot, I know you don't watch too many animated films, but you're not opposed to them.
Yeah, not really.
So,
all right. So
number 9 for you.
Where are we going here? Number 9 for me is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I don't necessarily hype it as much as some people do, but I do respect it as an absolutely incredible film.
Yes.
One of my all-time favorite movies is Heat, and this movie heavily tributes Heat. I think it's the only one of the Christian Bale ones I really care for the most part. I wasn't really overly fond of the first one. I hate the third one. I think it's not a good movie.
Go ahead and throw my number 8 up there for me.
Is it Dark Knight as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So we might as well just get it out of the way. We're both going to be talking about it here. So we can just kind of go back and forth with this.
Okay.
So,
so for me, I mean, yes, of course, the Joker's what everyone's always going to talk about. But for me, I always tell people, I don't think the Joker's the best character in that movie. I think Aaron Eckhart playing Two-Face is
incredible.
His performance is fucking insanely good. And I think it's just a more nuanced role. I think Joker is Joker, and it's just not that it's bad, but it's just it's
another version of insanity.
Yeah,
I mean, you can only play it so many different ways. It's still the same color.
But Aaron Eckhart playing Dent and then Two-Face, which kind of has two aspects. Yeah, he's basically playing 3 characters, and there's just a lot of like gray area between each of them. And I just feel like as you watch that movie, it's like, dude, he's like. But I just think that. Of course, he's going to get lost in everything with Heath Ledger, but I think he fucking knocked that goddamn movie out of the park.
Yeah, not only do you have to compete with Heath Ledger's performance as Joker, which was really good. We're not taking away from Heath Ledger. We're not saying that it was bad or anything like that. But also the fact that he passed away right before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Like that just adds an extra level to that performance from Heath Ledger. That
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart can absolutely get overshadowed by that.
Yeah.
Not to mention, on top of that, you also have Christian Bale's performance as Batman, and just the complete story, the masterpiece, and the visual stunning. Because Christopher Nolan's famous for his, I just spaced on the
Practical
word.
effects.
Practical effects.
Yeah.
I wanted to say real effects, but that's not the right. Yeah.
I don't know how Oppenheimer is going to work out.
Oppenheimer is scary to think about the fact that he's
Did
doing
he commission a real nuke?
he might have. Nolan probably has some connections. He probably does. But
Yeah.
the big thing for me for Dark Knight, honestly, it wasn't going to even make my list until my Marvel revision. But I think I need to stop being so hard on it.
Yeah, because I think there is I think both of us have a little bit of kind of the punk rock where everyone's so pro it that we just kind of because I do because I think it is an incredible movie. I just don't think it's anywhere near as good as people hype it up to be.
Exactly. The problem for me that happened was The Dark Knight came out, and I loved it. The first couple years that it was out, I'm like, this is the greatest thing that's ever been out, and everything like that. Then I really got into Batman, and I started watching some stuff, reading stuff, and really diving into Batman happened a few years after The Dark Knight Rises even came out. And I started to look back on Dark Knight going, man, this isn't true to the source material. Like, this isn't Batman. This isn't the Joker. Like, one of the things that really bothered me for a while there was that Mark Hamill's Joker in the animated series and a lot of the Jokers in the comics claim that they're not insane. No, that they are insane. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I'm batshit crazy, Bats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you like me. It takes one bad day.
Yeah.
The Killing Joke is where Joker is trying to drive Gordon insane to prove that all it takes is one bad day for anyone, even Batman, to fall to the Joker's level.
They picked that thread up in The Dark Knight a bit,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's basically the whole thing is like I'm gonna basically make one side kill the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Type
I'm
thing.
gonna make them choose, and it's gonna drive them mad and everything
Yeah.
like that, and the whole here we go and everything. But there's a line in the scene where he walks into the gangsters and does the pencil trick, where he's like, "You're insane." He's like, I'm not crazy. And it's like, yes, you are. Like Joker always admits it, and it's just like these little things. And I've always thought this, and I still think this. I'm not changing my opinion on this. I think the hand-to-hand fighting by Batman is clunky and not choreographed very well. I feel, especially that
such
first
as modern movies though, like it's very rare to see modern movies with good choreography. I just think it's
Yeah.
everyone just relies on shaky cam to hide the fact that they got shitty choreography.
And I think that Nolan didn't use shaky cams.
He didn't. Yeah.
Which is why you can see it kind of as
Yeah.
like, it's very blocky to me. And like, I even described it to my wife and everything like that. And she's
I feel like he even admitted it because I feel
Yeah.
like when they were
He's like, I
when
don't
they-
care about that.
when they were hyping the next movie, they kept talking about how this one would be way more physical and it's more of a physical threat to Batman than Joker
Versus
would
the
have been.
psychological.
And then it wasn't.
yeah.
There wasn't even like a good fight with
Right.
Bane. So I'm not going to get into the third one, but
But
yeah.
so that's my thing is like, but then also one of the
Dude,
things
how about
that,
the opening scene?
oh, phenomenal opening scene. That bank robbery.
That's where, like,
my wife quotes like, "You and your friends are dead."
That's where like the Heat thing comes. I remember
yeah.
sitting in the theaters. I'm like, dude, this feels like Heat, and like I'm fucking, I'm there for it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
So love that opening scene. It's a thing of fucking beauty. The whole
Oh,
thing
so
is just,
good.
it's written, acted, executed, shot in a way that's just incredible.
And the way the Joker
So
pulled
good.
that off just goes to show that he's insane, but dude is smart as hell
Yeah,
and everything. And then the one last thing I wanted to say is that I always look back at Batman Begins unfavorably, but after becoming a fan, one of my favorite comics and animated movies is Batman Year One. Go watch Batman Year One, the animated movie. It's only like 70 minutes long, and then watch Batman Begins. Holy shit, the similarities are unreal between
Yeah.
the two. It's good.
yeah. You've told me I need to go back and revisit.
It's
the first
good.
movie.
And I would dare say that it rivals The Dark Knight, but I'm going to stop being so critical of The Dark Knight. Aaron Eckhart deserves the praise.
And Gary Oldman, I think, gets
Morgan
his
Freeman, Gary Oldman.
Gary's probably biggest performances in that movie of
Yeah.
the three. So
We got a better Rachel in this
Oh, yeah.
one than in
Huge
Batman Begins.
upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel McAdams was phenomenal.
No, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie Gyllenhaal. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Much better than Katie Holmes. No offense to Katie, but
Yeah, no,
Maggie Gyllenhaal is phenomenal.
that was it's kind of in the realm of Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle.
Yes, I'm here. Deal with it.
When you get an upgrade, when you get a change of an actor, and you're like, dude, that's such a massive upgrade.
That's so good.
Such a massive upgrade.
Yeah.
And that's what it is with Rachel for sure.
But that's what I got to say about Dark Knight. What about you? You got anything left?
Well, I guess it's a good thing that we didn't need a recast her for the third movie.
Oh, Tad. Hashtag Tad is terrible on this show. You deserve that one. What do you got for number 8?
No, so
Oh,
yeah,
you got more?
just the recap. I do love Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that because I think I have tried to let go as much of the punk rock thing as possible.
Yeah.
Where I'm like disliking a little bit because of how much people like it. I think I've given up on that. It just comes down to, for me, I mean, and it's on my top 10 here, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But I do love the movie. I just I would venture to guess, if you were to Google this question, I'd bet you most of them this is number 1.
Yeah.
So it just isn't for me. I like, it isn't number 1 for me. I love the movie. It is on my top 10. Absolutely adore it as for what it is. Yeah, it's
So good.
good stuff. So now my number 8, and this may surprise you a little bit.
Okay.
It is The Batman.
The Batman. Okay.
So I didn't know if you'd be upset because
No.
I did enjoy it. I just rewatched it recently for the first time
did
since
you?
theaters, like in the last probably 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
It's such a great movie. I really dug it. For me, Batman is just defined by my childhood a bit, so it's always hard for me to come to Batman later on. But I think this one did a good job. I think they really try to take the character to a different place. It's more of the detective thing. It's a little bit more. I don't know. Because I remember outside of the theater after we saw it, I think you were like slightly complaining about how his gliding went wrong there, and I'm like, dude, that's one of my favorite things about it, because this is early Batman. He's not going to know how to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like I got the sense that was the first time he's ever actually tried that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it
you know,
was
like,
it was also the thing that really got me outside of the theater was that when he stepped up, he was like, oh, like with
Yeah.
he was scared and everything like that. And I'm like, that's not Batman. And you're like, year 1 it is.
yeah, this is early on, man.
This is,
This
well,
is-
it's technically it's year 2 Batman. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, kind of thing.
but John Turturro, so
Dude.
fucking good, man. He was so good. And then of course Penguin.
Dude,
Whoever
that-
played Penguin.
is not Colin Farrell. You are never going to convince me that it's fucking Colin Farrell under that goddamn
Take
no.
it easy, sweetheart. That chase may be the best Batman vehicle usage ever.
Oh yeah.
Like
The thing with the vehicle chase that I love is the psychological way that it starts. Is the intimidation, that fear that Batman always wants to use.
the Christine.
Well, it's just
Right.
it's just the fear that Batman wants to put into them. I'm talking more Batman than the car itself.
Oh, I mean the first time you see the car, like it's very Christine-y. It's like
There's-
they're in the shadows, and it turns
Yeah.
the lights on and starts revving and
no,
shit.
there's a scene in Batman Year 1 where he goes out with just like a scar and like a beanie. He doesn't have a costume.
Yeah.
And he tries to stop a guy from roughing up a prostitute, and he gets shot by a cop because no one's scared of him. And he's like, I need them to be afraid of me. How am I going to do it? Father, tell me. If not, I'll just let myself bleed out and this will be the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, otherwise give me a sign. And a bat crashes through the window. And he's like, I understand, Father. Rings the bell. Alfred comes and stitches him up.
Yeah.
So that's how the Batman was born. So to see him, like the fear that he puts into them, and you can kind of see it with Penguin. He's like, trying to mask it with like anger and stuff. Like, dude, he's scared shitless.
Yeah, when he comes through that fire.
That's a fucking turbo car.
Yeah.
Charging up, and then when it comes, he's like, "I got you," and then he comes through, and just like, "Oh my!" So yeah, absolutely get where you're coming from with that.
And then, like, just to heap some praise, like the whole I Am Vengeance thing and the way that pays off at the end is so fucking good. Like, I love that, because I think that in a way, like, they kind of turn a mirror on the audience a bit, because the audience embraced that from the marketing. Like, it's a good thing, but it's like, no, it's not. No. So I just love that, to like put that in the marketing, let people fucking get it. They're going to probably buy t-shirts with it on there and shit. And like, they're all into it.
I looked for one.
And then in the movie, you're like, oh shit, like that was the wrong answer.
Whoopsie.
You know, so I really dug it.
Yeah.
I love that director. He's done some incredible things. So I already had a lot of hype for that movie. I think the Pattinson pick was a brilliant choice. As much as people hated it to start, it was a brilliant fucking choice for Batman.
He nailed it.
I think the only definitely casting, and I don't even hate it because it's not bad. But I don't think Alfred is necessarily my favorite.
Andy Serkis.
Like if I could have swapped Jeremy Irons from the
Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck one. If
Justice
I could have
League.
put that Alfred in there, I think the movie's like fucking
Masterful,
divine.
yeah.
It's divine. And again, not that Andy Serkis did a bad job. I just I don't know. He's not necessarily my favorite Alfred for some reason.
I get
don't
it.
know.
I get it. I want to see more with him though. That's the thing is I want to see a little bit more sassy Alfred.
And he did a good job. There was a few times he called him out on some shit and stuff.
Yeah.
Like so,
Which is what Alfred needs to be for Batman. Is he
Exactly.
needs to call him on his shit.
Yeah, and so I do appreciate it. I just, I don't know. In general, outside of like Lord of the Rings, Andy Serkis in general is not my favorite. Whenever he shows up, I'm always like, I probably could have been a better person, even though he is great. I feel like I always sound negative with him, and it's not that I dislike him. I just feel
Yeah.
like there's always someone that could fit the role a little bit better than he did.
Yeah.
In general.
My wife says I feel like he wasn't sassy enough talking about Alfred. He was a little too serious and stuff like that, and I think that makes sense with it being only year 2.
Yeah, I would say that he probably does. Yeah, he probably doesn't have room to be sassy or humorous that early because he's so fucking terrified of what's going to happen to this kid.
Which is exactly what it is. I'm terrified you're going to die, that kind of thing. And he tries to talk him out of it and warn him
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then it's been going for a little bit. When he gets to year 5 or 6,
Yeah.
that's when it's like, all right, he can handle anything. He's handled, this and this and this. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm just tired of your shit, kid.
I will say too, the other part of that isn't even necessarily Andy Serkis, but Jeremy Irons is a fucking
Dude, he's so good.
He's so goddamn good, man.
Yeah.
That's part of it too, where I'm just like, God, that he was wasted in
Yeah.
the movies they did because I would love to see him be like the Alfred. Well, I guess no, you never really carried anything over with Alfred, did you? I was thinking M from Goldeneye.
You had the same Alfred for the first 4 movies.
Yeah,
So
which is
that
different
one-
Batman.
That one had different Batmans, but from Batman series to Batman series of movies.
They didn't carry over like M did with
No.
when they did the reboot for Casino Royale. It was still Judi Dench. So,
Exactly.
all right, yeah, that's what I've got. That's where I put the Batman. The Riddler got a redemption. Riddler was not treated very well in his previous screen adaptation,
Yeah.
and this movie did an incredible job of.
Made him very serious too, because even like in the Arkham games, he's kind of like a side guy that just kind of annoys you and stuff like that. So to see him get like the full threat of his riddles and everything like that, and Batman having to solve it, like you said, with the detective work, was masterful.
Yeah, it was great. Loved it. All right, so where are we going from here?
You're number 7.
Okay, because so you're calling the shots here. I don't know where
I'm just winging it, dude.
I don't know.
We're going left and right. I don't know.
I'll just scatter shot here.
Yep.
All right, so for me, number 7 is Superman 2.
Okay.
Specifically the Donner cut, but that aside, I love Superman 2. Christopher Reeve did, obviously 4 Superman movies, but the second one is great. Giving up his powers to marry Lois or be with Lois Lane, I guess not marry.
I got to be honest with you, dude. I do not remember this movie.
Yeah, this is they do the Zod stuff
Oh,
in this
okay.
one.
This is Zod with the 2 generals, right?
Yeah, the
General
two
Zod
generals.
and the two other guys with them.
Yeah.
One guy, one girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just love it. I mean, I think there's a sharp decline in the third and fourth one versus the first 2. The second one here did have some issues. Let's see. Okay, so everything just flashed, but everything
The
was like,
bottom just changed. We lost our bottom banner.
let's see what's going on here.
I don't know about that.
Interesting. Yeah, I've still got the thing. The TV is going to come on behind Peter as I try to figure this out because I do use that as a secondary screen. Yeah, it is.
That's interesting. I had an ad pop up for just a second there too.
Weird because I've got like the thing on here that's yeah.
That was weird. I saw your computer screen just flash.
Yeah, everything flashed for a second, but yeah, I don't know, the slide seemed to drop out, but yeah, I don't know. I'll fix it when you start talking about your next one, or I'll try to fix it.
Yeah.
We'll see if I can. Yeah, no, Superman 2, I just love it. It's there was a lot of issues with they fired the director mid movie, even though the first one was super successful. So you get this kind of a weird thing where you got 2 different cuts, but the Donner cut's awesome. If you ever have a chance to watch it, definitely pick that version.
Absolutely, it will. You good on that one?
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't seen that one forever, so I really can't talk about that one as much as you have.
Yeah.
But my number 7, coincidentally enough, is Superman.
All right.
I love this movie. Like, what's TMP mean?
The motion picture.
Oh, the motion picture. That's what it means. Okay. Yeah, because there's different Supermans, right, before this one. But I love this one. It's just the classic Superman. He saves Lois right at the beginning of the helicopter and everything like that. You got Lex Luthor being played by Ed Harris? No.
No. Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Sorry, those two, again, another actor set that's interchangeable in my brain. He's phenomenal, takes off the hair and everything like that, and the kryptonite. The flying around the world to go back in time. That's in this one, isn't it? In the first one? Yeah.
Yeah.
As cheesy as it was, as a kid and everything like that, I only watched it once as a kid. All the other times I had to do it later on. My dad's not a huge superhero fan, so we didn't even have them in the house and everything like that. But I loved this movie. Even more recently, I watched it just a couple years ago, and I just remember the music being one of my favorite things about it. John Williams' score with the da 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 da. That song is just great. I love it.
Yeah. John Williams. I often will say. I think I maybe. Let's see. Maybe. Sorry, I'm still trying to fix
No,
things.
you're good. I understand.
The John Williams, I always say that outside of the original people, he may have been the biggest addition to the Superman mythos. In the fact of the theme. It's just one of the biggest additions, I think.
Superman also in this one was just like the Boy Scout that you expect Superman to be. He had his little quips. He was happy and everything like that. He wasn't like the Zack Snyder Superman, which we both have problems with.
Yeah.
With how down and mopey he was and everything. So it's like, it's interesting. There it is.
All right, there we go.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that. We've been doing this for a long time, and I've never seen anything like that before.
I've never seen a slide just up and disappear. Like everything else stayed up. I never have a flash of anything else, but just that slide disappeared.
Yeah, very, very strange. I just got to catch us up here.
Of course.
Sorry, keep riffing for just a second.
Absolutely. The other thing with Superman is that he's the yin to the yang with Batman.
Yeah.
So I got to pay some respect to my boy's best friend kind of thing. Is that the more and more I've gotten into Batman, the more and more I find how much he respects Superman. There's a great panel in the new 50. I think it's the new 52, where Superman's flying with Lois to meet Batman and Catwoman because they're going to have a double date, and they're literally going back and forth talking about how each one is better than the other. And Superman's talking up Batman, and Batman's talking up Superman, and it really just kind of hit me that, like, for the longest time, it was Batman versus Superman. It's Batman versus Superman. But you know what I got to say? I love it when they're together.
Oh yeah, I read considered one of the best team ups of the two, and we gotta at some point we've talked about doing like book club episodes on here, and at some point we're gonna have to do that, read through that that series. I forget what it's called now, but yeah, sorry, I forgot the screen behind
no
you.
worries.
Yeah, but that's a great one. They team up. Also, I know when Superman was having his first kid in the comics, he was freaking out a bit.
Goes to Bruce for advice, right?
No, but he's just like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got to go take care of Lois. She's about to have our kid. And Batman's like, oh, don't worry. We'll take care of it. He's like, what do you mean? And they go out, and it's like the whole Justice League is there to take care of Metropolis, to give Superman time off, basically.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, yeah, it's great. But no, the first Superman movie, yeah, it's the motion picture. It's really the first superhero movie in the modern sense. I mean, there had been some other things.
There's
but like,
a 1940s serial series with Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
The Batman book that I read talks about those.
Yeah, but those serials aren't.
They're
movies.
not really movies. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, technically the Adam West show got a movie, but it's like, okay. I mean,
it was like 2 episodes put together kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Just like slamming 2 episodes together, exactly. So
my wife says, I'll admit, I don't think I've ever seen a Superman movie. Tad, I have failed you.
And I think, yeah, I'll talk more about it when I get to it. But yeah. Good to see him on there. I didn't know if your hatred for Superman.
The thing is that I don't hate Superman. I really don't. It's just that I think Batman's far more interesting. is what it comes down
And
to.
one of these days we're gonna have an episode on that because I actually would say the exact opposite. I think Superman's far more interesting and far more relatable than Batman. So it just at some point I have that. I think I have it on our list as a future topic. So
We'll have
at-
that
at some
discussion.
point. We'll have the discussion because I think it's a good discussion to have, and maybe it's even like the Turtles, where it's just kind of not even that it reflects you, but just
Yeah.
what you like in some way. But yeah.
All right, so my number 6 now,
There we go.
which is Kingsman.
Kingsman, the Secret Service.
Yeah, the first
So,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That- I mean, you got Samuel L. Jackson with a lisp.
The plot of it is dude, it's classic spy stuff. Someone's trying to kill everyone in the world except for a select group.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna rule the world, and I'm gonna evil
Yeah.
laugh and everything like that. You got the evil henchman who has a killer weapon.
Yeah.
At their disposable, you got the hat. Who throws
Yeah.
a shoe? Honestly,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Except that guy's in prison now for murder.
Oh.
The actor. That
Is he
played,
really?
That played Random Task in
Oh,
Austin Powers. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't quote that. Then. Oh,
No, I'll still quote it.
Oh, okay.
Because he didn't say the line. He just threw the shoe.
that's true. He doesn't talk. But, and then the whole like learning to be a spy and coming from the streets and everything like that. And then
Have you watched? When's the last time you've watched that?
last year.
One of my people I watch reaction videos reacted to it recently.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what's his name? Not Taron Egerton, or is it Taron Egerton?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Taron Egerton's Uncle Owen from the
Oh.
prequels, isn't it?
What's his name?
Eggsy.
Yeah, Eggsy.
Because I'm pretty sure Taron Egerton.
It's the one that
Or
played.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Taron
It is-
Egerton.
Okay, it is
Egerton.
him. Okay, it is him then.
Yeah.
Look up Uncle Owen in Revenge of the Sith for me. Because he's hit it big in the last couple of years. He's like a legit full on actor that played this small ass role, as well as I think Rose Byrne was one of the
Joel Edgerton.
Joel
Are
Edgerton.
they
Okay.
brothers?
No.
No relation?
No, but yeah. So, dude, watching the reaction video just like in the last couple months, dude, he is a baby in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, because we've seen him now over the course of like almost
he played,
a decade.
he played Elton John. didn't
Elton
he?
John,
Yeah.
incredibly too, so good. That
Yeah.
movie was incredible.
I need to watch.
He
that
should have
one.
won a fucking Oscar, man.
I'm finding out more and more that I'm an Elton John fan. Just we talked about this. Like I'm discovering music that I'm like, that's Elton John.
yeah,
That's Elton John.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
he's great. But yeah, no, he's a fucking baby, dude. Because I think I've just seen him age over time. And I watched his reaction video. I'm like, he's like 12.
Yeah.
when I'm watching it, I guess it makes sense because the first movie he's supposed to be like a teenager, maybe 17, 18, 19, something like that. So
My wife says it's so funny. I feel like you two should be switched, Batman, Superman.
oh, agreed.
Peter
yeah.
with the Boy Scout and Tad being Tad, the guy who
I've-
breaks limbs.
I've
and
said the same thing over the years.
Sends
I
people to
don't,
the hospital.
I don't get it because it really should be the opposite.
it should
It
absolutely.
should, but we have to have that conversation as an episode at some point.
Yeah.
Like, because I think I even put it down as like Batman versus Superman, but it's not even that it's a versus thing, but it's more of
Yeah.
just like we're both going to have our case for kind of what draws
it's-
us to those
yeah,
heroes.
absolutely. It's not going to be a this one's better than this one or anything like that. They're both fantastic. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that it's going to be more of a, like you said, why do we like them so much? You know?
Yeah,
Anyways, back to Kingsman.
Kingsman. What about that church scene?
Dude, that church scene is one of the greatest action things that's been put on film in the last 20 years.
It's so fucking good, man.
So good. And Colin Firth was amazing. And then you got Michael Caine and Mark Strong.
Yeah, Mark Strong is he's one of those underrated.
Yeah.
I don't think people ever give him credit for how good he is.
Yeah. And then the head popping scene at the end, just so over the top. And then the Duchess, you can do me up the bum.
Yeah. Dude, it's my favorite behind the scenes on that is the lisp with Samuel L. Jackson. That was his choice.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, the director like got him the scripts, and Samuel L. Jackson's like, dude, I think doing a lisp would be cool. And the director's like, okay.
Yes, sir, Samuel L. Jackson, sir.
What do you say to Samuel L. Jackson? But
Yeah.
I do think at times people are like, oh, why the fuck did they make that choice? I'm like, they
Yeah.
didn't.
He did. It's like him and his purple lightsaber. He just wants something different in every film.
Yeah, and then Mark Hamill's in that too, right?
Yeah, Mark Hamill's the scientist,
Yeah,
like the
that's
professor
right.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't go wrong with having the Joker in a movie.
Oh, Luke Skywalker and
The
Mace
Joker.
Windu.
The Joker. Yeah.
Mace Windu,
he's
Luke
the Joker.
Skywalker.
He's the Joker. Nick Fury. Yeah. But yeah, I love Kingsman.
No,
it's just
he'll
it's-
always be Jules.
Yeah, he's Jules. It's just a fun movie. Like
Yeah.
seriously, it's one that you could throw on and just be like, yeah, I'm in the mood for some action / comedy and everything like that. Let's do it.
Yeah, manners maketh man.
Manners maketh man. The bar fights, the bar fights were both pretty good too.
Yeah, for sure.
And the umbrellas.
I love the dude in the second one. I know I put that as my honorable mention, but he's like the lead person of the American
Of the
side.
Americans.
Because it's in their distillery, so
Yeah.
they've got like the whiskey and all the like bourbon and all the other shit.
They're all different alcohol names.
Yeah.
Right up your alley.
And the dude, he's just
The dude abides.
he should have been drinking White Russians. Come on now, come on. What the fuck?
All right, man. What do you got for number 6?
For my number 6, I have Mystery Men.
Mystery Man.
It is so fucking good.
Go
man.
fuck yourself.
This movie came out in the late 90s, but it's just one of my all-time favorites. I mean, Hank Azaria as the Blue Raja is one of my all-time favorites. I still quote him.
Go fuck yourself.
It's just, I mean, I'm not a huge Ben Stiller fan in general, but Ben Stiller's fine. William H. Macy, dude, it took me, I was probably out of high school before I learned his name because I always just called him the Shoveler.
He's the shoveler.
Yeah, and I still, most of the time, I'm like, that's my first thought I see him. It's like, oh, the Shoveler, which is William H. Macy. Like, I just...
You have to associate it.
Yeah, because he will always be the shoveler because he shovels well. He shovels very well.
My wife says another one that needs a rewatch. I will say there's one thing from Mystery Men that me and my wife do to each other. It's that like if anything happens with our pinky finger, the little hits with the pinky nail.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush, man. What do you mean we killed him? I was standing over here.
Sitting
Oh
over
my
here.
god! Oh my god! We killed him. Just and the cool thing is I think it's a more prescient movie now than it was when it was made.
Yeah.
because it's kind of just like a riff like on superhero genre, but like the superhero genre it existed, but it wasn't even like the biggest thing. It seems like a really weird choice of a movie.
Yeah.
To rip. I mean, I know the comics are ripped, but it's like, but to make that movie when they did, I feel like that's a movie that should be made now more so than in the late 90s. So
Was it even before Spider-Man?
99 is
99.
99's in my head. I was like,
It's
but that-
99.
okay, it didn't seem right though.
So it was before Spider-Man.
So Blade was out. X-Men wasn't out yet until 2000. So yeah,
Yeah, like-
you had the Batman movies
Yeah.
in the 90s, and then Blade technically, yeah, but like. Yeah, so it just feels like it was the wrong time for it to get me, but it's just
Yeah.
it's such a fucking classic movie, dude.
It's one of the very few Ben Stiller movies that I can watch without actually like covering my face from embarrassment. That dude is so good at embarrassing himself, which I struggle with secondhand embarrassment so bad.
yeah.
So it's one of the few Ben Stiller ones that I can just watch with, so just like no problem.
Am I to understand you put your father's skull in that ball for bowling?
The ball for bowling.
And I don't think to this day I've ever looked at bacon bits and said bacon bits. I'm always like the Baku bits.
The Baco bits.
Hank Azaria, he's a god. I mean, he's
Blue
just
Raj, I just said this.
he's so good. He's the MVP for me for sure. But yeah, Mystery Men. It's just I still quote it to this day. I'll still
Yeah.
watch it on the regular. I just upgraded it to 4K not too long ago.
Oh, did you really?
Because I'm just like, yes, I've got to upgrade
Yeah.
that. It's one of my favorites.
Go ahead and throw my number 5 up.
All right. Yeah, oh, you got Mystery Men.
It's Mystery Men. It really is just so fucking funny. Like the whole plot and everything like that. You won't like me when I'm angry. It's like he's the Hulk, but he doesn't Hulk out. He doesn't get big or strong or anything. He's just so worthless.
Oh man.
Like I'm actually getting a little bit embarrassed thinking about it.
and then
Like,
the invisible man that can't go invisible unless no one's
no
looking.
one's looking at him.
How do you know you've attained transparency? When you go invisible, you could just feel it.
You can just feel it. Hey, I did it. Yeah, great. Let's find you some clothes.
It's probably one of the few comedy, like straight comedies on our list here, because I don't think you get a lot of comic movies that are like
No.
full on comedic, but
Yeah.
like it's so funny.
Is it one of the best spoof movies?
But again, since I mean, I guess like the comic was a spoof, but that'd be like saying, like I don't know, I don't know
Dude,
if it
it's
is.
like up there with like Hot Fuzz, Scary Movie, Airplane,
but it's not.
Monty Python.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think it's a spoof movie though.
You don't think so?
Because if you're like the comic was like kind of riffing on comics,
Yeah.
and then they make a movie out of it. So does that make it
Yeah,
a
it's
spoof?
still a spoof movie of comic book films, kind of thing. Like,
Oh,
I think it's still a spoof movie.
Kind of like you say, like the reimagining of The Boys. Like you
Yeah.
can't give credit for the show when comics were doing it. Like that's kind of how I view it. Where it's like I don't know if it's really a spoof movie. It's more of just like, hey, we're adapting a spoof comic off of.
Which just makes it a spoof comic book movie.
I don't know.
I think it should. All right, let's go to your number 5 because we talked about Mystery Men. We both love that movie. It's just so funny.
I'm surprised we don't have any Mystery Men things on our soundboard.
I don't know if we could. I mean, like,
Oh, dude, there's so many.
I shovel very well. That's one line that I do like that one.
There's a lot in there for sure. All right, so what is it? My number
5. My wife says it's a spoof movie.
I don't know about that. So for me, it's Turtles, 1990.
Yeah.
So the original Turtles. You already covered it a bit.
You said Raphael was yours.
Yeah, Raphael's my boy for sure. Always has been. I grew up. The Turtles was actually probably. It's close. So I did when I was really, really young, because it was before our time.
Yeah.
Got into He-Man a bit,
Okay.
but it was so far on the periphery because I missed it for the most part.
Yeah.
That was more like 80s than it was
Yeah.
90s. But I knew it enough. I remember at one point my grandpa doing the leather shop, like somebody actually was getting like a sheath made for a fucking sword, and I remember being like so small that I was being held. And they were like letting me like hold the sword because of He-Man. So maybe you'd call that my first fandom, but truly full on plugged in, Turtles is my first fandom.
Same.
Like it was just that was the right time. I obsessed about it. I had the toys. I had the show was on constant repeat. I even had the Technodrome playset.
Oh.
That's still one of the holy grails of things I want to like find like a good one in good condition to buy,
Yeah.
no matter. Hopefully it wouldn't be too expensive, within reason. But,
Yeah. Did you ever play any of the games?
yeah, oh yeah. The arcade was always a go-to.
There's
Remember the one at like classic skating?
Yeah.
Was like the one where whichever joystick you picked was one of the 4 turtles. And
Yeah,
stuff.
there was like the 4 different colors. You could be any 4 of them. I always remember that I liked being Donatello because the staff reached farther.
Yeah.
So I could avoid getting hit. So
Yeah.
I really kind of gravitated towards Donatello. But yeah, I guess Leonardo is my big thing. Is like because it's the clash with Raphael and Leo is like Michelangelo doesn't get many storylines in the cartoon anyway.
Yeah.
But I need to read the comics. But there's a Cowabunga collection on Steam. Dude, it has all of the old arcade games plus
really?
some other stuff on there. Dude, I almost pulled the trigger on it a couple weeks ago. It was on sale for like 50% off.
Yeah.
But even 50% off, it was still like $30. I was like,
Yeah. Because it's brand new. I think it just came out. Like
It came out last year, yeah.
It's not even 6 months old.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it came out very late
like,
last
like
year.
November or December last year. Yeah.
Or did it? It may have got delayed. I feel like it came out right about the time I was going to Mexico. I think it got delayed.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out in like
so
March.
it's the first time being on sale. But then they also had another one that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh shoot, I forgot what it's called. Shredder's Revenge or something like that.
Yeah.
My wife can verify for me. It's the newer one. We bought that on the Switch, dude. You can play up to 6 people because they have Splinter and April as playable characters.
Oh.
So yeah, you can get online and play with 6 people, 4 turtles, and then Splinter and April.
Yeah. That's weird. It's Splinter and April. I feel like you do like Casey Jones.
I know,
or-
right? Like, where's Casey at?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's an odd one.
But yeah,
One of my other favorite lines in that movie, do you like penicillin on your pizza? Because it's moldy.
yeah.
Oh.
And then the scene with Donatello and Michelangelo.
That's what I was just about
where,
to quote. When
dude,
he's like,
Donatello's being all serious and everything like that, and Michelangelo only cares about pizza.
It's like, what is it? Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for a late pizza.
Hey, this is a 10. Yeah, you're late. I couldn't find it. Like, and then the old school dominoes.
Yeah, Donatello's all going all serious
Yeah.
and shit. He's like, that's it? Can't remember what he
Time's
said.
up.
Time's up.
Time's up.
What is it? 1/13 and an 1/8 or something like
Yeah,
that. is the
exactly.
address.
1/13 and an 8. It's like the old school It's before Harry Potter was a thing, but Harry Potter has a train station that's platform 9 3/4. So it's just like along those lines.
I don't remember the street address. I remember it's an 1/8 because
Yeah.
it's just such an oddball thing.
151 and an eighth. All right, 151 and an eighth. But yeah, I watched it with my daughter, and she adored it. It was so much fun.
That's great because I don't know. You hear all these different things with kids, like they don't know, like old stuff they don't really get to. Like, because I always ask, why the fuck do they do these horrible fucking cartoons that just look shitty? Well, that's what kids like nowadays. And it's just like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And so it's good to hear that your daughter watched this version, right? And liked it. So
she did.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Yeah, love Turtles. It's probably my first fandom. I do have the box set that looks like their van up there with all the whole
the
cartoon.
turtle van.
I've got that. I also have you could see it. No, the cameras can't, but I've got like an 18-inch scale Shredder.
Dude, I forgot about him. He is badass.
From the movie too. It's from that actual.
Yeah.
So you can take his mask off, and he's got the scratched face
from Splinter.
Dude, it's I love that fucking movie, man.
Splinter. I mean, I would put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2, The Secret of the Ooze, on here instead of the first one, but that one doesn't have Raph getting his ass kicked, so that's why this one's on here instead of that one.
Doesn't hold up as well. It's good. I still love it,
dude.
But
go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go Ninja, go Ninja.
And then they make a joke out of Toka and Razor. They freaking like they never use their weapons in that movie. They definitely I don't know. They definitely went softer on that one than they did the first one.
They did. They kind of made it a little bit more soft, but dude, I'll tell you, Kevin Nash being Shredder at the end was scary.
Super Shredder was great.
Super Shredder was scary for little Peter. He was not a fan of Big Shredder.
The story line of the first one is just fucking incredible.
Oh,
though.
it's
like
so
the loss of Splinter, like everything about that movie is just is great. The kid, the April's boss's kid, like just the whole movie is just put together brilliantly.
I love the opening sequence too, with like the news reports of like the thefts and the burglaries and everything like that. You have the one guy who steps into the truck, grabs the box, steps over, hands it to someone, has him sign, comes back, and you hear the from the ninjas and everything like that. Also, first instance of ninja dust. That's where that's from. So it's from Turtles. So and the foot, can't go wrong with the foot.
Yeah, the Foot Clan
let's acknowledge it. The ripoff of the paying homage or ripping off Daredevil, whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, we talked about it on this show, didn't we? The whole thing I found where like Turtles is 100% like the ooze came off the same truck that blinded Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, all that,
and
then Stick and Splinter, and there's like all these
foot,
the hand.
Yeah,
there's all this stuff that's connected for sure. The sad thing is that it's got lost in history a little bit because I've seen a number of different people that have watched like Daredevil on Netflix. And they're like, "Oh, the fucking hand, really? Just a ripoff of fucking Turtles?" And it's
like,
just
because
Turtles became such a fucking cultural thing that everyone knows what that is. So it's like the foot. And
Daredevil
hand,
came out in the 70s, right?
And this is a tribute to that. Like it's one of those backwards things where it's like, I don't know.
It's like those ones where you see like I've seen it on Instagram with like the reels and stuff like that. It's like, oh, so he copied this artist, and it's an artist that came out in like 2015, and this song is from like 1982.
Yeah.
It's like, you little whippersnapper, I'm going to bend you over my knee.
Yeah.
Like a little shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's...
I don't think there's any rhyme or reason. You're just picking shit
I think I'm just randomly going. So let's do my number 4.
There we go.
Just going off the rails. I don't care. We're just going to do it. Batman Returns.
Danny DeVito.
Wait a minute. Sir.
What?
Oh, it is Batman Returns.
Yeah. So I
scared myself for a second.
I
thought that I did it wrong, not you. I was like, sir, I think I fucked up is what I was going to say. Sorry. Oh, no, yeah. Batman Returns. Dude, Penguin, Catwoman, Stryker,
nose could be gushing blood.
The whole nose could be gushing blood and everything like that.
The army of penguins descending on the city.
Peter doesn't
with rockets bomb.
Peter doesn't like penguins. No.
Disgusting.
And the black ooze.
That does remind me of something.
Uh-oh.
Over there behind you.
I'm not looking behind me after you say it like that. I've seen this movie.
Just behind that third shelf, on the top there. Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch! There's a penguin in there. Is that Fluffy?
It is.
Oh shit! the thing of nightmares. Look at this little fucker. Ah! God, so I'm terrified of penguins, and Tad knows this. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid penguin. Tad knows
That
this.
just worked out perfectly.
And
That's
we
all
used
I'm
to live here. Well, I used to live in this house with him back not right after high school, but a few years after that. We lived here as roommates, and Tad went to the zoo.
saying. Yeah.
Got that as a thing.
Zoo's a good date if you're in the old dating scene. That's a good
Yeah.
date for take it, early
walk
date.
around, see
Yeah.
animals and stuff like that. So you went on a date, got that, and then you just fucking hit it around the house
Oh, yeah.
randomly.
Absolutely.
How long has that thing been sitting there?
About a week.
Okay, it hasn't been there for like a year, and you just haven't let me notice or some shit.
No.
God,
Just,
you're a monster.
just wait till I find that little porcelain clown. Haven't found that yet.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's a clown, but it's not a fucking penguin. I'm going to take that thing. I'm going to burn it. God, I hate penguins.
But Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Everyone loves, right? Him and his onesie.
Oh, who doesn't love Danny DeVito? But it's so hard not.
And then Shrek.
Yeah.
Like that's still one of the all-time. That's what I think of when I think of him. Is him in Batman Returns.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher
Yeah.
Walken. Like he's done a lot of great stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But as a kid, that was I think the first time I ever saw him.
He's the bad guy in Batman.
Yeah, he's the one that kills Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Michelle
stuff.
Pfeiffer as Catwoman was.
No, I mean, yeah,
Dude, it was so good.
yeah, she's incredible.
And you got to see Keaton kind of like settle into the role. There wasn't as much of the he can't be Batman kind of thing that was from the first one and everything. And then I love Tim Burton's version of Gotham. It's my second favorite version of Gotham outside of Matt Reeves in
Okay.
live action.
Yeah,
Animated Batman is still the best Gotham for me. You
Yeah.
got the old school looking cars. You got
The blimps.
the blimps, the detectives with like the fedora hats and everything like that.
man.
Dude, I love the feel of the 30s in modern age where they have computers and shit like that.
I don't know why I just spaced it. Who's Gordon in the new one? In the new Batman?
I don't know the actor's name.
I'm blanking. I can't even picture who it is.
Colored fellow. Talks like this.
I don't know. I can't. I
What's his-
can't remember who it is.
Jeffrey Wright.
Oh, why? I was thinking he was in the Superman movies.
No?
Huh. Interesting. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright.
I don't know why I just blanked. When you said the fedoras and shit, it just reminded me of Gordon in the animated series. He
Oh,
always
yeah.
has like the Sam Loomis trench coat and
But no fedora.
he does a few times.
Gordon does not wear a fedora.
Not regularly, but there's a couple times they show him.
Bullock wears the fedora, but not Gordon. Go pull up a picture of Gordon from the animated. I bet you do a Google search. I bet you don't find any of him.
Well,
wearing
yeah,
a
because
fedora.
it's very rare. It's not like it's all the time. That's why you're not going to find screen grabs. But I think when you go through and watch it, I think you see him at least once or twice.
I've watched the animated series within the last couple of years. I don't remember him ever wearing a hat.
Yeah,
I think he's got his hair combed and everything like that. He's always like professional looking. He doesn't wear a hat.
I don't know about that.
Bullock, though, on the other hand, never wears a tie or it's loose and his shirt's open and he wears the hat because he doesn't want to comb his hair.
Yeah, dude, and then also Batman Returns. What I love is that the movie is just so over the top that they end like that's still a legacy of that movie is that McDonald's will never market or what do you call it? Like
They will
cross
never
promote
endorse a movie
where it's
or
like in the
have,
where it's in
have
the Happy
toys,
Meals and stuff
until they
haven't-
see the movie.
until they've seen it because
which is something. Yeah, they covered that in the Batman book that I
Yeah.
was reading.
it's so
Dude,
funny.
they pulled the toys and then were like, no.
Yeah,
Never
it was,
again.
It was a big thing, man. That was like they were doing like daytime talk
Mm-hmm.
shows talking about how bad this movie is for kids. And,
Yeah, Batman kills people real good.
he did that in the first movie too.
I know, but
So.
in this one, he like machine guns them for God's sake, sets them on
And
fire.
then puts that clown, puts the bomb on him, and then smiles and pushes him down the hole.
Is
or
that
whatever.
this one? I thought that was the first one.
No, Penguin has the
It's
clown.
the Penguin. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Penguin guys.
And that's what always throws me off is Penguin has the clown goons.
Which is wait, what?
Never makes sense. But
It's like it's the circus folk
yeah.
because that's who took him in is the circus
What
folk.
about that rubber ducky too? That giant rubber ducky.
Where he saves the baby that they kidnap,
Yeah.
and then he runs for mayor.
Oh man.
Oh, you know what? I do love the scene where
And
where
his
he takes
flipper.
over. Yeah, I do love the scene where Penguin takes over the Batmobile. That's fun.
In a little tiny car.
Yeah, he's like rocking around and everything like that.
I love it. It's a great one. It was heartbreaking I couldn't get it on the list because I do love the movie. It just
Yeah, it was an honorable mention for you.
Yeah, it
right?
was honorable mention. Yeah.
It was such a good movie. All right, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is Kingsman. Secret
Okay.
Service. So I do have it on here as well. Just incredible. We've talked a lot about it. The church scene is just it's the bee's knees. But I think that like in general, like it's always hard with spy movies because you're always just going to be compared to Bond.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this movie,
Especially if you have English spies like this one is.
yeah, and I think this movie really broke. Like I just don't like. I can't say anything about like Bourne. I've never watched a single one of those movies. But like Mission Impossible, I think they've done a good job of doing their own thing. But I think this one was so doing its own thing, but also stylistically, it's so vastly different
Yeah.
from anything else. I don't think it like if there's like a crowd of spy movies, I feel like this stands out way further than a lot because it's just stylistically with what Matthew Vaughn did with it is incredible. And just like we mentioned, like all the cast is incredible, the story it's so like irreverent. I think that's kind of where it gets
Yeah.
into like like the girl at the end's offering him anal if he saves the world. Like
Yeah.
that's just you're not going to see that. I mean, they may
No.
allude to that in a Bond movie, but they're not going to overtly say that in a
Like
Bond movie.
flat out say, you can do me up the bum, you know?
Yeah, killing the dog
God.
being the whole thing because that's the other thing everything that you can forget at times is the first one how much of that is the training
Yeah.
and how dangerous it all is and stuff but I think I've seen the only complaint I've seen for the second one that I can kind of get behind is that they kill all those people at the very beginning including the only girl in the whole thing, the one that is with him in the class in the first one. I could see where people are kind of bummed on that, but I love this movie. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the third one. Now that the King's Man is done, that's what Matthew Vaughn said is that
Yeah.
he would return after that one was done to go do the. I haven't watched that yet.
I still haven't either. I need to watch
The
it.
King's Man, but the Kingsman 3 is apparently still a go, so I can't wait
Okay.
to see what we have for that one. And who's it? Michael Caine,
Yeah.
the main.
He's the bad guy in the first one.
No, he's like the main. He's like Arthur for like the Round Table. They all
Yeah.
have the names. He's like the main, like the kind of like the M. Like he's in charge of the whole thing. And then just great cast across the board. Michael Caine is just one
Yeah.
of those guys. He just pops up everywhere. But Mark Hamill,
Former Alfred.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And then he was in one of those shitty Jaws sequels too.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, because he gets called out on it every once in a while. They'll ask, "Oh yeah, I bought a car with the check for that movie." That's all I can say about it. There's some Jaws 2 or 3 or something.
Which just goes back to what we were talking about with like Glenn Close. Like, they're making money.
Yeah.
Knock them all you want. Halle Berry still got paid for Catwoman. I know that's going to be your number 1, right? Is our friendship over? For
How
me
dare
saying
you?
That?
I mean,
Is it over now?
there might be a real penguin waiting for you next time we record. But yeah, no, I love Kingsman. I can't wait. I can't believe I missed the Kingsman because that one got punted. It never got released because of COVID. It
Yeah.
never got theatrical. It went to like streaming.
It hit a weird place too when it actually finally did come to theaters, where
It never hit theaters. I think
It
it went
never did?
No, I think it went because it was supposed to come out in 2020.
Oh.
So like they delayed it for a bit, and then when COVID wasn't clearing, I think they dropped it straight on streaming. Maybe they even tried the whole premium streaming where they wanted you to pay for it, and I was just never going to do that necessarily. But yeah, I don't think it ever hit theaters because it was supposed to come out in 2019. Then it got delayed to 2020, and then
it got delayed to 2021.
2020 obviously happened, and
Yeah.
I think that's what they did. They think they released it, they pushed it to 2021, figuring, oh, whatever, we can't let this just go to streaming. And then by the time 2021 came, theaters
Yeah.
hadn't fully opened yet.
Dude, it came out Christmas week of 2021. Like,
yeah.
I'm not one of those people that goes and sees movies around Christmas.
I never was until the Star Wars movie started doing Christmas.
I mean, Star Wars is an exception.
I
It breaks
went-
the rule kind of thing.
yeah,
you know?
I think I've seen 7 and 8. I saw both those
But
Christmas
those
Day.
those all came out like December 18th or something.
No,
like
yeah,
that.
for sure. But those are
Not
movies.
not like the week of Christmas.
No,
this
it's-
came out the 22nd of December.
But
so.
I don't even know if that got a wide release though. That's the thing. I think that.
Well,
was-
that's just it. Just says release date December 22nd. So I don't even know. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if I could see like how much it did.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I
What's,
need
what's the box office mojo? That's the one I'm thinking of.
yeah. But yeah, Kingsman, love it. Can't. I actually was thinking about watching it again. I was telling you I was watching someone doing a reaction to it. It made me like kind of crave going back and watching both movies because
Yeah.
how about in the second one? How about that Meat Grinder too? Huh?
Oh.
making the cheeseburger out of that guy and then feeding it to the other guy and making him eat it. Speaking of Mortal Kombat that we talked about in the
Yeah.
the news,
Fatality.
that feels very Mortal Kombat-ish.
Yeah, it looks like it did get a domestic and international release and everything like that. So it did hit theaters, but it made $37 million domestic, 125 million worldwide. So
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
looks like it did have a
Yeah.
release and everything. But yeah, anyways, I've already talked about Kingsman, but
Yeah.
it's so good.
It is.
It really is.
I did. I really enjoyed it. For me, it was a huge breath of fresh air, too, because, again, the spy genre, I am kind of a sucker for spy movies in general. I don't necessarily seek them all out, but I do think that in general, there's a time where it gets a spot where you're like, you blur your eyes a little bit. And it's just like they all kind of look the same. But this one was so fucking different that it was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, dude. Like, I feel like it kicked you in the teeth, where it was just
Yeah.
like, this is how fucking different this movie is.
It pinned you down and just kept slapping you back and forth. Forehand, backhand,
Yeah.
forehand, backhand, with how good it was.
And Matthew Vaughn was rumored to be in the Star Wars running in those that first trilogy before they lined everything out. And he was the only one I was like, I don't want him in a Star Wars movie because I would hate to lose the Kingsman stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and the X-Men stuff. He was doing some X-Men stuff too. And it's I would rather those two things than see him do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
As much as I like him.
You were talking about Kingsman being up on a pedestal versus like other spy movies, and you made me realize that's a perfect meme that I should make. Is the Family Guy meme where the three of them are all dressed up and then Meg's like yelling like, "You think you're better than me?" You should have Bond, Mission Impossible, and Kingsman franchise, and then all other spy movies is Meg.
Yeah, indeed. That is a good meme too.
You think you're better than me? It's the three of them. I should make that.
Yeah, you could do Kingsman, Bond, and Mission Impossible.
That's what I was saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
those three. Or even if you wanted to leave Bond off and just do like the three modern ones, you could do Bourne, Mission Impossible, and Kingsman.
You can't leave Bond off. I would discredit your whole meme,
Yeah,
sir.
that's true.
It's Bond, for God's sake. All right, where are we going next?
Why not me? Let's do me.
Number 3.
Me 3. Batman. Are we shocked?
89.
Are we shocked by this? 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. Are we shocked by this at all? Are you shocked that it's not number 1?
Maybe a bit. I don't know, I guess. I don't know if I've ever had a conversation with you in terms of like how it all falls for you Batman movie-wise. Because for
Yeah.
me, like, it's the iconic. That's Batman to me. Like, that's the first thing I ever saw. It was predated the animated series. So it's like, that's the first thing for me for well, I grew up seeing some of the Adam West stuff. So not the first time ever, but that is the definitive for me that like
Sure.
that defined Batman for the rest of my life.
I grew up watching the animated series. I'd come home from school, turn it on, and it'd be on
Yeah.
already. It'd be a little bit into the episode, but I'd be able to catch most of the episode. So Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are my Batman and Joker. The animated series is still my all-time favorite in film or television. The Arkham games is where I fell in love with Batman to the extent that I am the biggest nerd for him.
And that's what, like, the 89 is for me. Like, I may
Yeah.
have seen the Adam West stuff first, but the 89 one's the one that really like hooked
Yep.
me in, and then from everything from that kind of
Right.
spawns off of that. So
Yeah, but I do remember that I have my dad did have the 1989 Batman and Batman Returns were the two Batman movies. We had them on VHS and everything like that. And
that black case with the gold.
Yep,
It's
just
the most iconic.
this logo
Yeah, it's the most
right here,
iconic.
the yellow logo.
Dude,
It's the Batman. It's not actually. I found out it's not exactly this logo. The 1989 has a little bit different logo.
yeah, the bottom's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has one of the greatest lines in all of superhero films. What are you? I'm Batman. Dude, it is. He still says it. Have you seen the valedictorian, like the commencement speech
Yeah.
that he does?
Yeah.
Just remember these two words, everybody. I'm Batman, and he's wearing sunglasses and
And see,
everything. Like I fucking love.
I'm
Michael
glad he's embracing it now because he's kind of like Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill did not embrace the Luke stuff late into the late 80s, early 90s. He tried to avoid, but he's now come around to embracing it. Same thing with Keaton. Keaton was not privy after he left that series to really embrace Batman, and it's only come around the time he did Birdman is about the time that he really started to flip the switch and start to like fully embrace it. Because like, if you would have had Keaton in '98 doing it, there's no fucking chance. Even if they said like, we will give you $1 million to just say those two words, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
He's just So I'm
And
glad
you know
he's come
what?
around.
I kind of understand where he's coming from with how much shit he got for the 1989 Batman. There was a lot of shit that people threw at him for not even before they even saw the movie. Just like, he's a comedic actor, he can't act, that kind of shit and everything like that. That stereotype. And then when he got replaced, everyone's like, "Oh, Joel Schumacher's going to save the series, and George Clooney's a much better pick, or Val Kilmer's much better than Michael Keaton." And then they both were okay.
Yeah.
But Schumacher will never be forgiven. He will never be forgiven for
putting nips
on Batman.
It's the dumbest thing I've heard since they put nips on Batman. What
That's
was that?
Clerks, right?
No, I thought that was Fanboys.
Is that Fanboys?
I thought it was.
I thought it was Clerks. But anyways, so the Batman, I love that it shows like the Joker origin story.
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever saw that.
And they also they've recently in the last couple years put Jack Napier as the true name for Joker.
Yeah.
Based off that movie.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool.
Which was the first time they've ever given
Ever.
the Joker a name.
Yeah,
there
70
was-
something years, they would never give him a real name.
DC refused.
Every other one has a name,
Yep.
but Joker just never
It's
did.
just the Joker.
It was always question marks on the like real name or
Yeah.
other aliases or whatever. But
exactly.
yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool like tribute to this movie because I feel like in the last couple of years, not that this movie ever fell out of vogue, but I feel like the last couple of years there's been a huge like revival of this movie a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like more people are embracing it than because I feel like during the Nolan era, everyone was just kind of like shitting on everything that came
it's
before.
so much better.
But no, for me, this would always have been the definitive one. But
Yeah.
what about have you ever danced the devil in the pale moonlight?
A great line.
Best line from the movie, sir.
I love the line also. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Bam! Punches him right in the face.
Oh man,
It's such a good movie.
I want to get
the
nuts.
museum-
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. The museum trashing scene is fun. It's a great movie. The parade scene, Prince, and everything like that.
Yeah.
The balloons. Those are my balloons.
Those are my balloons,
And then the big ass gun.
dude. That gun,
That gun.
dude. Like I wanted a toy of that gun as a kid. I'm like, I want a gun that's as
You wanna
tall
run
as me.
around with a gun that's like 5
Dude,
feet.
yes, because of that movie. I mean, he brought the
I will
Batwing down
say-
for God's sake.
Best Batwing that's ever been for Batman. There hasn't been a better Batwing.
No, I mean,
don't-
there hasn't been a better Batmobile in my opinion. So.
I think an argument could be made for Batmobile. There's a couple different iterations of the Batmobile that I've seen that I'm like, hello
I
there.
love that one
But-
from '89.
But the Batwing from 1989 Batman, dude, mwah, that dude is the best.
that's what I say about the Batmobile from that. I love that thing. It's just a thing of it's a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And then not to say there's not other ones that are okay. I even the Adam West one I enjoy for
I
what
like
it
that.
is.
The convertible.
I love the Battinson one, but like
Yeah.
just that.
I even like Batfleck's Batmobile. The only one that I
I actually
really
don't remember
truly
his.
It's just, dude. It's.
I don't remember
it's
his at
sleek.
all.
It's sleek as fuck.
Okay,
It really is.
It's kind of like where I couldn't place Commissioner Gordon in the new. I was like, I can't picture what the Batmobile is in the
In the
Batfleck
Batfleck.
stuff. But
I will say that
I remember them riding on it though, because like Aquaman was on the
Yeah.
outside or something. But I can't picture what the fucking interesting.
it's a little bit more Corvette-ish, like squashed to the ground. It doesn't have anything really like up.
Okay.
So, but I will say the one Batmobile that I can never get behind is the Tumbler.
Yeah, I'm
I never was
not a
I
fan.
never was a fan of the Tumbler
Agreed.
in the Nolan
Nolan's.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, when he made it the motorcycle in the second movie, it was way better.
Oh, the Batpod?
Stick with the motorcycle. That was far better, in my
I
opinion.
got to tell you a cute little thing that my daughter used to do when she was little. You know, kids always mispronounce words and everything like that. They got really big into the Arkham games, and Arkham Knight came out in 2015, and he gets the Batmobile in that. My daughter couldn't say Batmobile. She used to call it the Batmobeard. It's the Batmobeard. So I'm like, yep, honey, it is the Batmobeard.
And then you let her watch you play Red Dead and you shoot her horse.
I shot my horse, not her horse. Thank you.
Didn't she name it or something? She was
Oh
all,
shit, she did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was her
so
horse,
I guess
sir.
it was her horse. Oh yeah, I quickly reloaded after that, and that never happened. Never happened. What's your number 3, sir?
I mean, she is old enough at that point that she might remember that, actually.
She does.
It was long term. Because they
Yeah.
say after like 5 to 6 is when kids' memory solidified, where most kids remember everything past that. So you do
Thanks,
have that.
thanks, Ted.
All right, so number 3 for me
Number 3 for you.
is The Crow.
Oh, Great movie.
It's just thinking about it recently, I feel like in the last month or so was the anniversary of Brandon Lee's death or his birthday. One of the two. Both times you'll usually see Brandon Lee and The Crow trending. You also have a new movie that's in development with Bill Skarsgård.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, me
Who's
too.
the director?
I don't remember, but
It's someone we like.
But The Crow, I mean, I grew up loving this movie. Obviously, there's the tragedy involved, kind of like the Joker with The Dark Knight. But I just love this movie. It's so unique. It's got its own voice. The music on it is super distinct. But, I mean, Brandon Lee's performance is just stellar. Some of the lines in it are incredible. You still have your hat on. You were dead. You were in the ground. You still have your hat on. I don't know. I love it.
Can't rain all the time.
I grew up watching it constantly. Some of it's quotable as all hell, but I just think it's it's such a cool story too. Like the premise of it, like the dude and his girl are murdered on Halloween. The next Halloween, he's resurrected by the Crow to take out vengeance. Like it's just, dude, that's like, I'm not gonna say it's Shakespearean, but it feels like a story that should exist.
Right.
I mean, some of those comic books and stuff, you'll hear the premise and you're like, all right, I guess. But like The Crow was just like, dude, fucking yes, like perfect.
It's like made to be a comic book.
Yeah,
it's like perfectly defined. It's like sometimes the soul can't rest, and so the Crow brings him back for revenge. And it's just like, dude.
And the vibe of the city felt very Gotham-y, where it felt very distinct. It didn't feel like
Devil's Night.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's set in like a real city, but like
it's Detroit, isn't it?
Yeah, but it just felt very. It felt very outside of the realm of reality in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brandon Lee, I mean, the guy playing the cop was incredible. I don't know all the actors' names, but
the Ernie Hudson, isn't it?
Maybe
the one from Ghostbusters.
Might be, yeah. But then even all the gang members from Tintin and his crew, and just every scene that he's like faces off with any of them they're all incredible. They're all iconic. Love this movie. I probably throw it on once a year to watch.
I have not. Yeah, it is Ernie Hudson. I was right. Ernie Hudson. I have not watched The Crow, unfortunately, for a couple of years now. I think I am
due for a rewatch.
I think I'm gonna watch it tonight, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. Go ahead and hit my number 2.
I actually used to watch it on the day before Halloween, like Devil's Night. I used to make that a point, but I kind of lost that as I stopped watching horror movies like all month. We both did that for a bit. I still I'm always going to try to watch Halloween on Halloween. Now, when it's on a work night, that's a little bit tougher, but I try at least throw it on for a bit.
I watch it when Halloween is celebrated is what I've been doing. Is like if Halloween's on a Monday, I'll watch it Sunday.
Yeah.
If it's on a Wednesday, I'll watch it Friday, kind of thing. You know, like I'll go to the closest one. But yeah, number 2 for me is The Crow. I fucking love this movie.
It's so good.
It's so good. And honestly, this is one of the movies. It holds actually a special place in my heart for me. This is one of the first movies that you showed me to help me get outside of my box, like my action comedy box that I was in,
like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon.
Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. You know, it's like action can be dark.
Yeah.
It's really what you showed me, that it can be dark, but it was also heartwarming too. It's
like, it had heart for sure.
It had a really good story and everything like that. The little girl that was like friends with them, helping her mom recover from her heroin addiction. Is it heroin?
Yeah,
heroin, and everything like that. And it's such a good movie.
Yeah,
and I am excited to see Skarsgård. I do love Skarsgård.
Me too. I would say it's impossible to fill that role. I mean, they've tried a couple times now.
Yeah.
Edward Furlong was in one of the sequels. None of the sequels have been good.
Yeah.
But I will not doubt Skarsgård because he has already stepped into impossible shoes to fill, and he did a good job. So
I don't ever doubt actors anymore. I have been proven wrong way too many times to count. Heath Ledger being the big one for me was Heath Ledger, is where I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to work, but I will never come out and say he can't pull that off because I learned my lesson.
And it's not even that I would even say that I'm like doubting the actors as much as like I almost root against it because I'm almost just like leave it alone. Like Brandon Lee was incredible there. Let's just fucking leave it there. Like, let's just not do the Hollywood thing.
Does it need a reboot?
No, and like I think that this is the first time that they've done something. And when they cast Skarsgård, I think he was enough to win me over. Where I'm like, okay, like, okay, maybe I'll go see, because I mean, every time they're like, oh, we're working on this Crow reboot, they've been working on it for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
It's got developmental hell shit going on, but I've always just been like, fuck no, I will never watch the movie. I've never tried to watch a second of the sequels. Like, I've heard they're all terrible, but it's like, there's also a part of me that's like, it feels like hallowed ground a bit for, Brandon Lee's final performance, and he does such a killer job too, man.
So good. It's such a tragic thing too that he was taken so young in life with such a phenomenal movie being the reason that he was gone. Just a freak
Negligence.
accident. Negligent accident.
Yeah, negligence.
I was trying to think of the right way because I don't want to say freak accident because that's not really what it is. But it absolutely.
It was, totally negligence, just like the stuff with Alec Baldwin now.
Yeah, it's so sad to see something like that happening.
I forgot to put it in the news
What?
because I don't know if I really care that much. But did you hear what Alec Baldwin's next movie is?
No.
He's legitimately doing a movie on the Kent State Massacre.
Can we not have him in a movie with guns for a while?
Yeah, like
go do a romantic comedy, Alec. Like, come on, man.
Is that not in poor taste as well? Sorry, it wasn't in the news, but yeah, that's been. I actually legit thought it was an Onion headline when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. And like a few days later, I was like saw it on like a legit legit blog place.
Like, oh my god!
I'm like, wait, that's fucking real? Like,
oh,
come on. But yeah, definitely tragic. But ultimately, this is just I think an achievement of a movie. I mean, it's one of the few comic book movies out there that's not under any major banner. It's kind of an indie comic, and I think it's probably one of the more successful indie comics out there. Like, people know what The Crow is. But yeah, killer movie. Absolutely love it. It's so good across the board.
Let's hit your number 2.
My number 2 is Batman, 89. So, like I've already kind of alluded to, Batman, to me, this is the definitive Batman. I did grow up with some VHS, and it wasn't even like bought. It was like recorded off TV, Adam West stuff. Yeah. So I had like an episode with Egghead, and I had a couple episodes and stuff. But so I did grow up. That was Batman. First Batman for me, but 89 happened. I would have been 4 or 5 years old, 4 years old. And I just remember just seeing that. I remember the posters. I remember getting a mask in like, I don't even know, kindergarten, first grade, that was Batman that had like and it kind of came down on the neck too. Cause I remember that was, you always see all those cheap Batman masks where it was just like, from the nose up.
Yeah.
And this one actually had like you brought it over your full head, and I was just like so stoked with it.
Kind of like a Michael Myers mask, like you pull it up over.
Exactly. Yeah. I think my parents threw it away because they were tired of like months after Halloween. I was still constantly wearing it and stuff. So
like, this stinks.
Yeah.
Throw it
it's
away.
like or like just it's annoying. But no, this movie was just game changing for me. Like it was, and like the animated series came very shortly after, and that was like the thing that helped solidify what Batman was. But it always came down to this movie. Jack Nicholson is a fucking joy in this movie.
Oh, he's so much fun.
He's so good. Mr. Porkins from Star Wars playing not
Bullock.
Eckhart.
Isn't it Bullock?
No, it's Eckhart in the movie. Because Eckhart. Think about the future or whatever, and shoots him. Yeah, love that.
Oh, you're gonna be my right hand man.
It's so good. And then the whole like face reveal thing, just everything with him is great. He does such a good job as Jack Nicholson.
That creepy smile when he's wearing the human
and
makeup. Why are you smiling so big? Don't worry about it.
And then that is, I love that one too, because like the white is normal, and then when he puts makeup on to look normal, so like when it wipes off, it's white. So.
That's some special. That's like special makeup effects right there.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty talented. To get it to where the human stuff wipes off and white looks like it's normal.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And it's the only time that I haven't been annoyed by Batman's origin thing. I think that's about the only time I ever needed to see it. The whole killing of his parents and stuff.
That's like one of the things that like we've talked about this. There are three. Yeah. There are three at least the minimum. Those three that never need to be shown again. It's Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man.
Yeah, never.
We never, ever, 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 ever need to see those three. It
sounds like again. Legacy is not going to go Origins. They're talking about young Superman, but I think it's young in terms of like one of his first couple years moving into Metropolis. So it's like, we're not going to. Hopefully, we're not going to see fucking Krypton and shit. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah, for God's sake. And then the Superman and Man of Steel, fucking 40 minutes. The goddamn movie almost was fucking. It's like Jesus Christ, get on with it.
Yeah,
come on. But yeah, no, I love this 89 Batman. I still like, this is the definitive Batman for me. It always will be, as sad as that is to say. Like, not to say that I'm like gonna be negative to other movies. It just nothing will ever supplant this.
You got two other Batmans on your list. I can't hold it against you.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of like, even if you come out with one that's just an absolute fucking banger, which both the other ones on my list I think were bangers.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's ever just it's like a sentimental thing for me where I don't think it'll ever get topped like this. And
Yeah.
like the Flash, that's why I'm so excited for it. Like, I would probably be somewhat hit or miss because, again, being plugged into the whole DC thing, knowing they're pulling the plug and refreshing everything, I don't know if I'd be as interested in the Flash, especially because I think the CW Flash stuff was like so good that
It
it's
was
like,
way better than the Flash they put in Justice League.
yeah, it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But then like the second that they are like, oh, we cast
Michael Keaton.
and he's playing Batman, I'm like,
I'm there.
you got my fucking
You
money, man.
sons of bitches.
And then that trailer, I was just like, oh my, I can't
Yeah.
watch that trailer without a big fucking smile. I got the Jack Nicholson smile
Yeah.
when that trailer, because it's just like,
Yeah.
it's
I'm Batman.
yeah, it's incredible. I did see someone on Twitter that was actually pointing out they're just like, nobody talks about it, but a good Batman has to have good lips,
Yeah,
and Michael Keaton has probably got the best of them.
he does.
He doesn't
He's
like,
got good
you
lips.
can't have that narrow
Yeah.
mouth if you're Batman. It wouldn't work.
No.
Like, you've got to have a good, somewhat defined jawline, even if it's not like, it doesn't have to be John Hamm jawline, but you got to have a distinct enough jawline, and then you've got to it's just because you're only going to see those and then his
That's it.
eyes. So
That's
it's
it.
like, it's like you've got to. I mean, you could always fake out height and all the other shit
Yeah.
that people might bitch about, but
Michael Keaton was a bit shorter, right?
yeah, he was short. And then he was from comedic background. But also, I think he's the best Bruce Wayne too. Like, because they played him like he kind of had like the parties going on, but he was always super reserved and broody and stuff. I feel like his Bruce Wayne was super compelling.
I think it's between him and Christian Bale for movie wise, for Bruce Wayne. I don't think anyone else even came close. Like,
well, I mean, I won't. Pattinson's an incomplete.
we haven't seen Pattinson.
Yeah, his is an incomplete because we haven't seen enough from him yet. But I think Keaton, I loved what he
Yeah.
did with Bruce Wayne as well as Batman, because that's what I've always said especially when you talk about those first four. I feel like you've got Kilmer's a good Batman, but not a good Bruce Wayne. George Clooney's a good Bruce Wayne, but not a good Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Keaton is the best of both. He has both sides of it, where it's
Yeah.
like he does a fucking great job. So, love this movie. It's like still one of the most iconic posters of all time, outside of like
Yeah.
Star Wars and some of the big ones, because it's just, and its simplicity.
good
It's
good
just,
score too.
oh, the score, yeah, Danny Elfman. I still listen to it on occasion.
Yeah.
Throw it on. It's just, it's great. Yeah, I love it. Tim Burton.
Prince wrote a song specifically for it.
I think he wrote a whole album.
He did actually.
Yeah. So
Only one song. I think only one or two songs
made it in the movie.
into
One
the movie.
one was in the movie, and then there was a couple in the credits. I think,
Yeah.
if I remember right. So,
But yeah, an entire album just for the Batman.
yeah. Well,
For Batman.
he's
Sorry.
he's a legend. Prince,
absolutely.
so.
Absolutely.
What? No, that's Michael Jackson.
No. No. That's all Michael Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah, Prince. Just think, like, one of my favorite things is, like, Prince is the one guy that'll show up to a party dressed in women's clothes. He'll go take your girl from you, sleep with her, take her clothes, go grab another girl in your girlfriend's clothes, bang her, and then leave the party with both of them. Like, that's Prince. But-
My wife says I have a soft spot for Tim Burton and Danny Elfman, so I love this one.
Yeah,
let's get to our
great.
number ones. We're running out of time here.
Yeah, what do you got?
You know what? I'll do the honors. I'll go first.
All right.
It's the Batman.
Which is not I wouldn't say surprising, but it's because I know how much you love. Off camera, I've heard you talk enough about it, so it's not a surprise for me, but it might be a surprise for some people because it is the newest on the block. And yeah, so I think some people might be kind of surprised just because it is the newest kid on the block, and you're putting it number one.
It's still my phone background. Still the Batman. I loved the film. I had a couple little things griping with it coming out of the theaters. I've rewatched it 4 or 5 times since it came out last year.
Yeah.
One of the very few physical copies I've bought. I bought the steelbook of it.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered it and everything.
Yeah.
I love this film. Top to bottom.
I think
rewatching it and everything.
Some people complain about the runtime, but last time I rewatched it, which wasn't all that long ago, I was like, dude, there's not a single thing I would want to lose out of this movie.
No.
Like, because if you did cut anything out, you'd lose a lot of the John Turturro stuff, and that was some of the best shit. And like, I will,
And then the stuff with Selena too.
yeah, I was about to say, I will admit, I'm not a big Catwoman fan. I do think she's overplayed a little bit. When they first announced that she was in this movie, that was probably one of my biggest, like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Again?
Just enough with Catwoman. And I know she's big in the Batman, whatever, but it just,
Especially the new stuff where she's married to Bruce. So
I thought they never got married. I thought they
they-
ended up calling it off.
I thought they did get married.
No. That was like one of those big, like, Death of Superman was a big event, and then it ended up not
Not
happening.
happening.
I think she left him at the something happened. So, yeah, no, I know she's big, certainly, but I just,
Sure.
But then again, I was proven wrong because I think it was incredible what they did with her.
Yeah, I thought the whole revenge stick with Falcone, Maroni. I can never keep the two
No, I can't
straight,
either.
whichever one and everything like that. But I love that it had callbacks to the original, like the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight, where they're trying to take down the mob, but also
Yeah.
at the same time introducing one of the rogues galleries with the Riddler. And
Got
everything
Penguin
like
in
that.
there, too.
You got Penguin in there too. You got a Penguin show coming out, and then we're gonna get more Matt Reeves and Pattinson.
What was it?
Films.
What was it? The Law? What was the
La
line?
Rata.
La Rata, yeah.
La Rata.
I'm the only one that taking some Spanish classes here.
Yeah, so good. And I love the way they made Colin Farrell look like a penguin, despite not going over the top.
Yeah, he didn't have flippers.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping that they embrace the comics and the cartoons and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that really did it for me, and you've asked me for this, is to make a top 5 bat suits. It's a tough choice, dude. But I love the bat suit. The armored and then the intimidation. Like we talked about this earlier with like the fear that is Batman. That's the
Yeah.
reason why he is a bat. Is it's scary. No one wants a bat touching them
Yeah.
and everything like that. And so like
Care rabies now.
yeah.
I'm not going anywhere near a bat.
Yeah. And then like to have like the spur sound when he comes walking out. He doesn't sneak out. He doesn't try to silently take down a couple
No.
guys that are on the fringes of the shadows. He walks out. He wants
that
these
scene-
guys to be scared of him.
That scene is so good. With
It is.
with the goons,
and then the music.
and then the dude is the one he's trying to save is scared of him. Like I love all that. That's great
early
stuff.
Batman is where they're like, "Oh my God, don't kill me," kind of thing and everything
Yeah.
like that. Cops are nervous about him, like I should arrest him and everything like that. The cops are after him at the end of the film.
And I love
And
that
then
detective
everything-
wise he misses a crucial thing.
Absolutely, he's
I love
human.
that. Yeah, I
It's
love that.
Early on, he should miss things.
Yeah.
I saw some people bitching about that. He's the world's greatest detective. I'm like, not yet. He isn't.
Yeah, and he's a fucking rich kid. How would he know
Yeah.
about this fucking manual labor tool? Like he wouldn't.
See, but the thing is like what I hope to see is that I hope that he learns from that.
Yeah, certainly.
And that's
yeah.
the thing with Bruce is that fool him once, great. You'll never do it a second time.
Yeah.
We've seen that time and time again in other iterations of Batman where it's like, oh, I beat Batman by doing this. And then the next time they face Batman, they try it again because it worked. And then Bruce has something in the utility belt
Yeah.
ready to counter it. Because
Like
that's
shark repellent.
like shark repellent. You know that it happened for a reason. Adam West was attacked by a shark. And he knew better than to not have shark repellent.
Does he have a crowbar repellent by chance?
Oh, too soon.
maybe
yeah, I mean,
maybe some
there's-
sort of magnet that will repel.
I'm going to ignore that. I love the castings.
I got the pain out of you, so I don't
You
care.
did. You did. I love the castings. I'm a fan of Robert Pattinson. I was
Oh,
a
yeah.
fan of him before the Batman.
Yeah.
And so when everyone's like, oh, it's just a stupid guy from Twilight. I'm
No.
like, again, I've said this a couple times now on the show. Dude, you're never going to catch me doubting someone. And you know what? I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson fucking
And-
nailed it as Batman.
And as a movie fan, all the indie stuff he's been doing has been
Mm-hmm.
absolutely fucking hyped. Like everything he's done, I know a lot of people haven't seen a lot of it. But everything he's fucking done, dude. People are fucking absolutely adoring everything he does as an
the
actor.
Lighthouse.
I mean, that's just that's a bigger one of
Yeah.
he's done a lot of indies, kind of like the Harry Potter guy.
Yeah.
And I just think that's where I was just like, dude, with everything he's been doing, he'll probably be fine. Like, and it wasn't even like a Heath Ledger. I don't want to doubt. For me, it was more of just like, he's been killing it on the indie scene, man. He's a
There's
fucking
stuff out
brilliant
there
choice.
showing that he's doing good. Why are we doubting him?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, because it's not a big box office hit that he's doing it in.
Yeah, because he did Twilight, 12 years ago or some shit. It's
More
been
than
it's been a
that.
long time ago now. So
That
yeah.
was coming out around when Iron Man came out. I think the first Twilight came out in like 2008,
Yeah,
2009.
those are a while back. So to judge him off those is interesting. But no, yeah, he's great as Batman. for sure.
2008 for Twilight, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. 4 years there's Twilight movies.
Yeah,
So to judge him by that for, over a decade ago.
decade later. Yeah,
Come on.
that's- No.
Come on. All right, sir, let's get to your number one.
I mean,
I'm
there's
gonna
no
guess.
doubt.
I'm gonna guess it's Superman, right?
Yeah, it's
Superman.
it's got to be. It's Superman the motion picture.
Yeah, right.
He's my boy. Largely because it's a big part of why I am is this movie. But I grew up watching the Max Fleischer shorts. We had some of those on VHS as well, which always threw me off because those are so good as cartoons. But then to find out like they were around, my grandparents could have watched them as kids, fucking trips me out. Like, 'cause
You're like, wait, that was back then?
they're too good to have come out that long ago. Like you have an idea of what cartoons looked like in the 40s,
Yeah.
right? And just we could all picture it right now in our heads. And then you watch Max Fleischer ones, it's like, oh, that's probably from the 60s or 70s, like kind of the Disney
That
era.
looks like the Spider-Man cartoon from the 60s.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, it's not.
Wait,
It's
what?
just what? So I grew up on those. I remember. I mean, I've talked about it before in the first episode, probably where we talked about Superman a bit. But the Superman motion picture is absolutely incredible. Christopher Reeve is still the Superman. I think that's where Superman is almost harder than Batman, because you've had some definitive Batmans, but I think you've had a number of definitive Batmans. And Batman's kind of like Madonna. He reinvents himself quite a bit. So I think people are more open. But I just think that like Christopher Reeve knocked it out of the fucking park. And to this day, here in the next, probably before the next episode, we might be getting a casting announcement on Superman Legacy. The first thing everyone's going to do is compare him to Christopher Reeve. Like that is
That's what they do.
what happens because he fucking killed it in that role. He like I think he brought life to the idea of Clark Kent and Superman.
He
you know,
was so good, too.
With his fumbling and
Yeah.
his goofy ways. He also shrinks himself. There's that scene where he's going to reveal himself to Lois and he like suddenly grows like 5 inches and takes the glasses off, and it's like it's a different fucking guy, dude. Like
Yeah.
he's just
Dude, I'll tell you, Superman gets shit for glasses wouldn't make a disguise, but I'm telling you, I've watched the videos of famous people walking down the street wearing a pair of glasses.
yeah.
There's no way that people would know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like what I've always said, in universe, nobody is even suspecting that he will ever not be Superman. I think I told you at the office the other day.
We were talking about this
where
the
it's
other day.
like I think the ultimate example is Homelander. Do you think anyone in that universe, we've all watched, 3 or 4 seasons of that show now?
Yeah.
Even us as an audience, do you ever suspect that Homelander is not wearing that fucking uniform?
No.
If that actor wore a fucking suit and just walked into a scene, I don't think any of us would fucking notice. Cause,
Even with the hair combed the right way.
yeah, because it's like Homelander would never not be Homelander. So
Yeah.
it's like, and I think Superman. There's even been times Lex Luthor has like built machines to like calculate probability wise who Superman is, like if he's got like whatever. And it came out Clark Kent, and he's just like, there's no fucking way. Like if Superman had another identity, he would never just be some fucking reporter, whatever.
Like a wannabe reporter too at times.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
he's like Lois Lane's bitch.
Yeah,
kind
so
of thing.
so it's like this famous thing where Luther's like, no, it's not real.
That's wrong.
For one, I know he doesn't have a secret identity, but for two, it would never be that.
If he did have a secret identity, it wouldn't be that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Christopher Reeve just nailed it. I mean, you already mentioned a bit. Gene Hackman does a great job. Otis is
Yeah.
wonderful. Goofy guy. Miss Tessmacher, the whole ending stuff is great, but it's just a perfect thing too, because like Marlon Brando, one of my some of my favorite stuff with him is the dad. You got the early Krypton stuff; they don't overplay it, and then you just go through the whole origins in a perfect way, to where it's like you never have to do it again because it was done so well. Just wonderful, and to this day you still see the DNA of this movie in superhero movies.
Yep.
Especially the first movie, like kind of like the established, like how do they become a hero, and then like you've got like
What's the first big trial?
the trials, you've got the coming out of like here I am now, like when he rescues Lois from the helicopter, like that's the first time
Yeah.
anyone had seen Superman. It's like holy shit. And then you got like sometimes a montage of like different
Yep.
thing, like to this day, I mean, we've seen a couple Marvel movies in the last like couple of years where it's like look, there's still some elements that
of Superman the motion picture.
from 1978. So,
Yep.
and then you already mentioned John Williams. I mean,
Dude.
I was listening to it this morning. It's such a great score. Probably one of the biggest things outside of the Cape. In terms of take away from the original comic people, the biggest addition to Superman's entire legacy is John Williams' score, in my opinion. It's, and I know that's a lot, but there's been a lot of stuff added over the years, and I just think that Williams' score it's untouchable. There's been some debate in the Superman community with the new movie. Should they allude to that theme or should they use that theme? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
does Bond ever question if they're going to use the fucking Bond theme? Does Halloween ever question? Like, why are we questioning this? Like, use the fucking
Why wouldn't you?
let the composer do every other element, the guy you hire, but the main theme should be the main fucking theme. Like, it's that iconic to
Why
me.
not?
Like, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number one. I don't think there was probably any doubt.
No.
I'm sure you probably could have just penciled that in yourself.
I'm honestly surprised by Batman being number 2.
Yeah, those are just definitive things for me.
Yeah.
because that's what it came down to, watching the cartoons and then getting to a spot where I got it on VHS and then watched it. It was just, that's, spoiler alert, that's kind of where the Superman love for me starts, is the Fleischer and then this movie. So that's it for me.
All right, sir. Well, that's our show for top 10 non-Marvel comic book films. Like it says at the bottom of the screen, we will absolutely be having Marvel.
No
at
closing arguments, but
one
yeah,
point.
emails.
We will have no closing arguments tonight. Unfortunately, we are out of time again.
I don't know if I have one either, but yes,
I got a few in the bank just in case if we ever come across
I need to
them.
think of more, but yes.
But if you want to email us, go ahead and email us. It's Peter or Tad, that's TADD, at geekeryabides.com. If you want something for just Tad, send it to him. If you want something for me, send it to me.
Like
Otherwise,
John did.
Like John, yeah.
First email.
First email. Way to go, John, from Buffalo. And so with that, I think that's going to be it for us here. Wait, what's next episode?
Exactly. Well, you should throw out the emails. So Peter,
I did.
okay, you did.
I did.
I'm losing it here.
Yes, sir.
Which it's not a far drop. So for next week, I don't know if you've looked yet.
Next time.
Or next
not
time, yeah.
week.
Next, yeah.
In a fortnight.
In a fortnight, when we come back, I've debated on a few different things. I got a couple topics in my head, but I decided to stick in the top 10 realm, and we were going to do top 10 Western movies.
Oh, Westerns. Okay.
So yeah, I think it's when we do the Dark Tower. We just had there was something Western wise recently, wasn't there? A TV show, movie, something? I don't know. We've talked about some Red Dead. I think we just discussed Red Dead.
We've talked about Red Dead.
That puts me in there. I was thinking about maybe restricting it to just the 90s, but I just want to open it up. In our stockpile of things, I've basically got all the genres and top 10s, and I just figured let's just start with Westerns, man.
Let's do some Westerns.
They're fun. I also have a.
Used to be my text tone.
Yeah, so that is next time will be, which is, I can't read it because the screen's too small. I think it's June 3rd.
See.
June 3rd, we'll be back for this episode talking about top 10 Westerns. If you wanted to share your own or respond to any of the superhero stuff with non-Marvel, you can do all that. Just send it on over to either of us. And yeah, we will... I don't know, let your geek flags fly high, love what you love, and go see. There's some fucking really good movies coming out here pretty soon, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is coming out. There's a lot of good stuff nerdy-wise, so get out there and engage with it because there is a lot of great shit.
Yeah.
It's a golden age for nerds.
I love it.
All right.
It's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Of course, you have to do that.
I love that.
So let's go ahead. We'll sign off on the podcast, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye, everyone.
And in the chat, trying to get the cadence the same as Dark Tower Palaver because I keep forgetting things on the recording. But yeah, thank you. I wonder if we had some other people because the numbers kept bouncing up. So I know Lydia was here talking, but even now it's showing there's it's moved to 3 or 4 a few times. So whoever else has joined us, thanks everyone that's joined us. Thank you, Lydia. It's always fun to have extra conversation on the side. But yeah, it's been fun. We'll be back in a couple weeks for top 10 Westerns. All right. See ya.
Bye, Cowboys.